And with that, we are live. Absolutely nothing went wrong. We are not 10 minutes late. Thank you all for showing up.
Yo.
You see, this is what happens when you let a fool do a wizard job.
I'm not...
Never go through it.
I can't boast myself of wizardry.
A wizard is never late.
I'm not just a very good assistant, calling up all the wizards to show up on time.
A wizard is never late.
It is a pleasure to do. I see this as community service in a way. You fools, you need us, really.
I'm trapped in here with these cartoon characters. Someone send help.
Okay, are we really live now, Zanlar?
Yeah,
are we really live now?
I can see myself, I can hear ourselves double. We are here for real.
For real?
Yes.
Dang, didn't know it was shit like that.
Oh man, look, it's beautiful. People can watch the stream, and I'm gonna switch between scenes, and now they can actually see the video, but I can also just go back if somebody falls out to a different collection of people. They will never know. But I think
awesome.
like if people drop out, then the scenes will get all messed up. So it's not configured for every single scene, but the illusion is here.
Don't drop out. It's okay. So let's get to the topic. I mean, this is a very interesting one because, as we might have discussed a little bit earlier, RPG design is an interesting aspect of the game, and I want to preface the whole conversation by saying that this community itself has a lot of disagreement on different things about RPG design. But let's tackle it from the idea that the rules of the game that you're playing are a set of tools. And I would argue that as such, you would need different tools for different aspects of a game that you want to employ, really.
Yes.
I agree. Different tools for different purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
We have to.
I did mention it before. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go on, Ka.
If you want a good example, then look at the game that we've been preparing for quite a bit, and this is where these characters come from. We have been preparing a game that is mostly focused on the comedy aspect of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can apply roleplay and 4D and co-creation to create a very comedic scene, and I think that this is what the game me and Nicholas design is geared towards. It is geared towards facilitating comedy in play. So much so that we don't even have a game master. Like each player will take turns at being a game master, and that's because each player will have different options and different ideas for like what is funny for the scene. But of course, this is like a very extreme example. It's very experimental, so we don't even know if it will work. But that's a good example of how you can gear the specific game to what you want out of it.
Yes. Yeah, I mentioned it before when I thought we were live. That it comes down to taste, yes, but you kind of mentioned it in what you said right now. But what is your goal, right? When you put a next mechanic in a game, what do you want to achieve through it? Because sometimes, and I've done that. I do that quite a lot. I'm still developing my own game. Sometimes I will read the rules and I realize, why is this even here?
Absolutely.
But it's mostly like a vestigial leftover from just practices within the hobby. But certain rules do not help what I want, which is to be immersed, to roleplay. They might make sense in a game balancing or I'll say that in a game balancing standpoint, but they make no sense in the world, in the narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. And what does the
choice, man?
What does the rule, like, what is it evoking, and is it actually succeeding in doing that? Like, standard fire and forget, like D&D magic, for example, there's mechanically no distinguishing that from any other resource, like an arrow. Like, if you're counting arrows, then like you're counting spell slots. There's no fundamental difference being evoked there in the mechanics. Whereas if I compare it to like RuneQuest, the fact that all of your magic comes out relatively easy, you still got to test for it, but can always be resisted is a different, that's illustrating a different feel as far as the magical conflict goes, and it's isolated to magic for the wizards.
I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to spell slots. In fact, most people that play the game, I would argue, nowadays in the hobby at least, they don't even know where that type of magic came from, right? And they do
Yes.
play it as if, oh, I'm getting tired, right? They do play as if their character's getting exhausted as they cast spells, but it's actually not true in the rule set whatsoever.
Yep.
You can see a very clear
Yeah.
disconnect of what the players want, like this ideal state of the rules, and what the rules actually are, which is just, you know, these spells like magical things that live in your head that Vance made up like a long time ago for his novels, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna see. Chat can tell me if the audio balance is a bit better now. I increased my volume. I can also lower the other guys. So let us know like who's if it's all pretty much equal, so that when we play the video, you guys can also hear the video well. I don't need to mess around in the background afterward. Well, who am I kidding? I'm never gonna edit this anyways. This is it. This is what you're gonna get, guys.
Yeah, man. It's shot and done, you know? Kind of like
Yeah.
a 5e spell, you know? It's gone. It's done.
Absolutely. And I mean, on my end, I see my volume is fine. Daryl, he says like, go up about that much more, Zonal Arts. I just see like all the bouncing lights on the mixer. So wonder, it should be fine, but you know, yeah, please keep on giving the feedback. Thank you. For some, yeah, I can see the difference on OBS. Go ahead, guys, keep going.
So, the video we have here, right? It's talking about classes, as the title mentioned it. Since we got a filling time, so Zonar can pretend that you can set up all the smoke and mirrors.
Oh yeah.
I'll give my opinion on it. I'm not very fond of class systems. It's fine, like I can play them just fine, but if you give me the choice, I'd rather play something else. Mostly because I feel like classes, they are a good way to keep a setting cohesive. Is that a word? Cohesive?
Yeah.
That
Yes,
does
sir.
it work?
Okay, yeah. To keep the setting cohesive, you know. This is how wizards work, and they're very tight. They work this way, and warriors, they are about that. And you have the subclasses which also aid in setting that up. So for that, okay, but I think I still prefer to have more freedom when it comes to.
It's interesting. So
Building
I
a
watched the
character.
first few minutes of the video.
Yeah.
I think you're totally right. And I watched the first few minutes of the video. And I think that the author of the video also did indeed find something that he dislikes about the class system. He's going to talk about it. I think you're right that it does preserve the world a little bit. But then isn't that limiting to the players where they'll fall within archetypes of class, right? I think that is like my main gripe with it.
Yeah, that's what I want to find out. A couple of things of, is the designer trying to get people to roleplay more interesting scenes by giving different social classes abilities that are not focused on combat, like spice up the variety, and do the designs actually succeed in that? When we watch people roleplay in games that have heavy rules on how to like use abilities for your social encounters, it ends up detracting from the roleplay because players lean heavily on, I'm using my persuasion check to turn the hostile creature into indifference and stuff like that. So I want to see like what he means with like a social class in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Nicholas brought up for a moment, the big appeal for classes for me are like archetypes, but what social archetype are you going to be suggesting, kind of thing? What does that look like?
Yeah, and I like that distinction very well between a class and an archetype, because I feel like archetypes encompass more of when I think about my characters. Am I a leader or am I a follower? Am I a scoundrel? I don't think myself as a scoundrel stat block or like as a class. I'm not just a cleric. I'm like a man of God. And having that distinction, how would you guys make that distinction as well, or is that just more semantics, really?
I'm leaning towards semantics.
If I'm-
Like, you go on. You got it.
No, you got it, man.
It's so
I'm leaning
polite.
towards semantics. I prefer it when, like, in a more open-ended game, like Nicholas was mentioning. In an open-ended game, you can either decide or discover what archetype you kind of begin to fall into, if we're ever going off of that idea. Whereas when the game presents itself as like having clerics and warlocks, I very rarely, especially with the warlocks or even clerics, I very rarely personally see people lean into the warlock archetype, the person who is indulging in the forbidden, or a cleric indulging in divinity. I very rarely, seldom see that actually presented and role played.
Yeah. And
Ooh, this is something that we'll see in the video as well. And I mean, the issue here, and this is like one of the big things for me, is that it is very clearly an artificial construct from the part of the game designer to help balance the game, more often than not as well, right? So it would be broken if a cleric character could also have this type of ability, or it'd be broken if a warlock can combine this ability from a wizard or from a paladin or something. And you can very clearly see this, like in builds, like those multi-class builds are always like the most broken ones, because these different character classes are all like neatly packaged bundles of mechanics. And it makes it easier for the game designer to actually make sure that everything is balanced if it is nicely bundled like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's
one of the issues when you
the game
multi-class, when
designs
you do
to
something like
have
that.
one of the game designs to have classes in the first place, a way to balance encounters with a group of different archetypes challenging the enemies.
And what Dom said is totally correct, because if you think about it, when you have this like these different packages, a lot of the players are interested in the package. They're not interested in the actual like substance of the class. They're not interested in being a cleric. They're interested in being able to heal their party members. You know, they're not interested in warlock. They're interested in being able to play this interesting character that has like different powerful abilities.
Yes. And while watching the video, I will be looking for, well, okay, will these rules, like his design philosophy, help me to roleplay more? Or is it gonna obstruct me of making choices in character? It's one of the topics that will be touched on in the videos. So I'm very much looking forward. Just thank you guys for like joining me. I know it's already like 15 minutes in. It's kind of a mess. But I want to thank The Verve for putting the videos out there. As a designer, trying to make his own games to run smoother, making up his own system. That is really cool, and it shows that he has stakes in this hobby, that he wants to improve. He wants to find solutions to the problems. And my question is just like, do we have the same problems? Or is this really more trying to get like a more satisfying mechanics experience? Like the wargaming experience and the classic tabletop adventure game experience. And we can compare and contrast our styles to what he's looking to get out of this.
Oh yeah, that's very well put, I have to say. You can, like the way you told me about this before is like how this guy's like the pillar of his own community, and that's totally true, because you can clearly see like the passion in putting this out there so that people can comment on it. It's very productive to actually design a game like that, where you're getting a lot of feedback and you're providing content to people. It's very interesting.
Indeed.
I very much respect anyone that puts their work out there on the internet like that.
And with that, I think we are ready to watch the video. I think we can just pause when we have something to comment on it. It's about 14 minutes long, so I hope to actually reach the end of it and give him good once over. So, switching scenes, turning off the nice music. I don't even know if people hear it, but gotta turn it off.
I hear it. It's nice.
You set up a nice, yeah, man, you got it. Nice layout.
Based. So it's The Verve. He's a small channel. It's still bigger than us, but you know, it's not about the size that matters. It's how you use it.
I completely disagree with that.
Okay, Visser. There we go. Let's go in. And chat, let us know if you can hear him clearly and concisely. If not, gotta turn some knobs. So let us know if you can hear it.
Hello everyone. I recently put out a video about how character creation and progression works in The Verve, my TTRPG. I thought it would be a good idea to have a more chatty video about why I made the decisions I did and why the class system is a little unusual.
Based.
So the first thing to touch on is why classes. If you're designing a TTRPG, I would recommend you more or less question everything you take for granted. Why do we roll dice? Why do we use skills? What purpose are these mechanics serving in my game? Classes are iconic to TTRPGs, and so they're something of a default. That doesn't necessarily mean that classes are a bad idea, though. And in fact, I think in most cases, classes are a really good idea. The reason I think that is because classes are a really good way of packaging up a whole load of mechanical features around some core identity. If you're building a feat-based or perk-based game, you often need ways of categorizing those features in order to make sense of the sheer abundance of potential options. In many cases, a class is just a really nice narrative way of framing all of those mechanical choices. And that's a real strength, because it
Yeah. I wanna show all these
So-
pictures on screen. There we go.
Yeah, I mean that is a very, very good way to tackle it. I think he hit the same exact viewpoint that we discussed beforehand on how you should approach this. Totally correct. You should challenge all of these notions of whether you should have classes or whether you should even roll in your RPG, right? I think that our point of disagreement starts when he argues that being able to have this package with a core identity being something that is a good part of using classes in your RPG. And I believe this because if you are going to package everything around a core identity, at first your players will easily be able to actually grab all of these concepts and very easily narrow in on a character. But as time goes on, the notion that this core identity is the only thing that is there in the RPG will make it so that this RPG is stale, right? Very often, when someone first makes a character, they'll make a fighter, and they'll be the fighter role. But then when they play a fighter again, they'll try to have something weird about the fighter. They'll have a different flair to them. And then as they keep doing this and they keep playing more and more characters, they start diverging away from the core class identity. And now their character is a mix of different, almost schizophrenic concepts that don't fit the class. I think a good example of this is the game that Zonar ran for me, where I was playing a Battle Master fighter. But that was hardly what I thought my character of, right? I would never describe my character as a fighter. He's more of a well-rounded character, I suppose is the best way to put it.
It's like
Technically, he's more of a smith than a fighter.
when we look
He's
at
a person.
the core identity, the mechanics are a smith's background, which has a couple mechanics that are pretty superfluous, and the battle master mechanics he has access to show that he is a competent fighter with some different tool sets. But the ideas behind the character were very much separate from class itself.
I think that arc that you just described
So I think
about your character is very indicative of it, of the situation where it worked really well as a shorthand to get you into the game, but the moment or over time, as you gave more and more thought to it, that shorthand was no longer needed. So it's it can be useful, but it's not. Is it truly needed?
The thing is, if you're going to do something like that, you can actually get the benefit that he mentioned, right? The benefit of having a core identity that you can hand your player. You can have that benefit if you just have a pre-generated class system or even a pre-generated character system, right? You have a system that allows you to build a more complex character, but you actually can use pre-gens as well. Right?
Can I propose a question that you guys tell me if this is going too far from what the premise of what we are doing?
Do not cast these spells. There. Forbidden.
How do you how did classes came about? Do you guys even know? I know the wargaming chainmail thing, but when it became a quote unquote role playing game, how did class came about? Because Gary Gygax was a businessman, and I think he did a good job on package it in such a way that someone could get the box or get the book, read, and like I understand what I have to do. So do you think that that's why classes were there in the first place? Like,
I mean,
oh,
classes,
what if a non-nerd gets this book? Like, he doesn't know Conan, he doesn't know Lord of the Rings. Like, how he's gonna role play in a fantasy world? So now, if I give him classes that will guide him, like say, kind of like not baby wheels. What do you call those? The bicycle wheels.
Well,
Yeah, training wheels.
honestly,
Training
that is a very good question. I do have a view on this, right? So you're totally correct. At first, classes probably descended from the list of units that you can have in a war game, right?
That's
So
right.
you have like the longbowman, you have the fighter or whatever. It descended from that, but as it became more of a role-playing game, it actually was a way to characterize a character, right? So I mean, what are you? Oh, I'm a thief. If you go back to the very early D&D, like a class is even more overbearing back then, because your ability scores, they don't actually are used for a whole lot of things. You don't really have a background. Your race is a class, right? The class is like 99% of what a character is. So they were using class to fully distinguish what difference each character has, right? And if you think about it, like a role-playing game, the whole point is that you're playing a character. So those characters need to be distinct from one another. And I think that this is like the first design pillar that we should talk about, which is the game needs to have different characters for you to be able to role-play different characters. And back in like early D&D, your class was like 99% of what your character is.
Your identity is being the elf wizard, or the dwarf fighter, or the halfling rogue, and that's who you are.
Or just elf or dwarf, because race was class.
It became more synonymous with like your profession. This is your duty to the rest of the world, to the rest of the realm, is being the cleric, being the fighter man.
Yes. And that very much is more you play the archetype, not a class. That's what I say when I tell people, are you talking about role playing a character, or are you role playing an archetype? Because some people, they like embodying, I'm fighter man here to fight, and I'm gonna go there and slay the orcs, slay the goblins, and the thief, I'm gonna sneak about and check for traps and steal gold where I can. And all of that. It's the players, they're role playing, but they're role playing the archetype, and the extra step is making their character become alive. This is a human. He has a life. Before he entered the dungeon, he has goals and aspirations, and that's like in this video he packages it as ideas, because this would be outside of mechanics and system and items, right? Like loot. This is the ideas part of your character, so to say. But I don't see this as part of the class. This is like outside of the class.
Indeed. Playing a role, I would argue, is not role playing. If wizard fully describes your character, then your character is not a person. They're not an actual character. They're just a set of stats and
Yes.
with a role of what they must do in the war game. And that's not role playing. And yes, I am the arbiter of what role play is.
That is a big thing with us that people might miss if they are watching us talk about this for the first time. We want people to roleplay in role-playing games. So when we hear people say, oh, we roleplay, or I develop a tabletop role-playing game, I want to find out what they're trying to achieve, because too many role-playing game systems are like board games without the board and without the minis. Or they're more treated like war games or an adventure game where you solve all the puzzles in a row that the game master sets up for you to knock down. And in a role-playing game, I really want to have that full range of motions to role-play my character, what they are doing, what they're feeling, chase down my goals and aspirations, and still work with all the other players at the table to explore that interplayer dynamics going on. Nicholas, any comment?
I don't know. I proposed the question and you guys answered it. That's
Perfect.
it.
We can continue with the video. We are only 10% in. There you go.
Those mechanical choices. And that's a real strength, because it lets the core identity of a class shine. It gives a clear idea of what you're going to build your character around and what that character is good at, what their strengths are. and how
Okay.
they might fit in with the rest of the party. That's not to
Are you guys even at all interested if your character fits in with the party?
That is so strange, though, because if what I understood what he meant is correct, he's saying that you need to have like a class to help you guide what kind of character you want to play. Truly, that comes fully from the player, correct? Like I don't like open an RPG book and say, oh, I can play a barbarian, I can play a warlock. No, I already started developing like this interesting idea in my mind. Like, oh, I want to play as an example for the character, like the fighter I played in 5e.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to play like a. I got the concept of the game, which is it's a game where everyone is an evil race. Like, oh, okay, I want to play a
Yes.
half orc,
We will,
and
we
I
will
want to
play
be
monsters.
troubled.
You pick the monster
Yeah.
you want to play.
So I wanted to play a half orc, which is like troubled. He's like split between the human world and the orcish world, right? So that was like my initial concept, and I thought that would make more sense if he was a fighter, because I don't think a half orc would be anything else.
Indeed.
The bless you.
Bless
The
There will be
I have
more.
I can't. Ooh, never just one. I can't think of the last time, if ever, that I've looked at the book and be like, I can play this. Beyond like a game with very hard setting limits, or rather, very hard. With a very hard setting,
Mm-hmm.
wherein I couldn't just play a savage orc or so and so. If I'm bound by the limits of the game. But if it's a generic game like D&D, I'm going to go in with an idea, and then with this class-based system, I have to then adjust and narrow my focus down into the game with this.
Oh, and like fit it into a mold, right?
Exactly.
Well, actually, this brings me back to like an idea that I sort of like brushed past, like in the previous section when we were talking. What do you guys think about, instead of presenting classes, you just present pre-generated characters? Because now it's not just the class. Like now you have like, it's not just your archetype. You actually have like the person behind your archetype a little bit too. Like if you read
There
like
is
two
a
paragraphs
game
about
out
a
there.
character.
There is a
Right,
game out
so
there.
that's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You can get like all of the benefits of having a class system by having a few pre-generated characters, so the players can like start understanding how to build a character, right? Because I will totally agree that for newer players, classes might be helpful. If a player never
Yes.
played a game before and they just look at the book, oh, it can be like this cool barbarian guy in the art. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
he has like bear fur and stuff, right? I
Actually,
can totally see that being a benefit for a newer player.
that is so
But
interesting
why
that,
don't you?
that you say that,
Oh,
because
go ahead.
you can see this in the pre-generated characters of Dungeons and Dragons, where you can download them from the website for whatever the newest starter set is, because they will always release one for the starter set, and they have it built into the backgrounds of what are your vices and your virtues, right? What are your bonds that you have and your flaws as a character, and then piece of art. And so you're not just an orphan thief; you're an orphan thief who will like steal from the rich but give to the poor. That could be one of the virtues.
Can I counter argument that? Yes,
Go ahead.
I agree that having a classes is helpful for the new guy. But wouldn't it make more sense, like for you as the GM, if you want to play with a new guy, be like, okay, tell me, let's workshop just the concept of your character, and then I will make your character sheet for you and explain it like how it works.
Isn't that?
Because you don't need to like dig through the book. You don't need like to count beans when generating your character. Let me do that for you because you don't know. Let's just work on the character concept.
The conventional
you're right, I guess.
conventional advice out there is asking the 20 questions to the player to draw out a character out of their class.
There's also the notion that later on, this is like riding your bicycle with wheels for the rest of your life. Because later
Yes.
on, like after you make 1, 2, 3 characters, then you'll need to go back to the class framework, and now like you're like on your fucking 30s, riding your bike with little wheels on.
Go ahead.
And I don't want to be like too much of a jerk, but that's kind of how I've viewed classes and alignment for a very long time. Where if you're new to this or you're young, then it's very useful. But at a certain point, we kind of have to, grow out of it. Like you should be able to identify these archetypes, these tropes, and make it your own.
That comes with like media literacy. The more you watch movies, you read books, or you just tell stories with your friends and with new people, you build up this idea of, oh, those are all interesting characters, interesting archetypes. And when you sit down at the table, I don't think about, do I want to be a general? Do I want to be a hero? Do I want to be the doctor? I'm also thinking, what about if I play like a sleazy janitor? There's nothing going on in his life, but still shows up for work. And role playing out that part. It has nothing to do with class, has everything to do with identity, and seeing if I can still role play with this role playing game, and see how events play out with the dice.
I also think that the guy here, one of the main reasons he went with classes, he mentions what is my goal in the table. He mentioned something like that, and I feel it's like,
what am I good at, and how do I
helping
work with
players?
others?
Helping players feel like they're doing something or like they're contributing. Like,
Indeed.
I'm not useless in my friend group, you know. Like I am the guy who brings in the beer, you know.
This absolutely happens if you join a D&D table and they're like, your
Need a
limit
healer.
is the imagination. You can be whatever you want. So you play this diplomat, like a very suave, intelligent, noble guy, and ends up being completely useless in combat because you don't, like, all of the feats that you picked are for talking or diplomacy, and it's just a 20 level dungeon crawl the whole game through. So you never get to shine.
Tragic.
It's even worse in Pathfinder
let's-
because it really pitches even harder against each other. Like, well, you better pick this combat feat or you will fall behind. I did want to make before we made the whole side tangents about the for D&D pre-gens. I watched the Japanese D&D pre-generated characters, and they are fucking amazing. They really lean hard into what is a barbarian and what is a druid, like this old hermit living up in the mountains, living with golems and such. And the barbarians coming down the mountains and leaning harder into the Japanese style of it, or playing instead of a rogue, you're a literal ninja, fully equipped with kunais and everything, showing midriff because of course you do.
That is an interesting aspect. We should take a look at chat because I think chat posited a very good question. Like the very
Let's do
last
it.
comment.
Pick one.
Oh, do you have the tech?
I cannot pull it up, but I can read it.
No. But
Yeah.
Daryl said a few things, right? He said, for me, archetypes indicate an approach to solving problems. And then he asked the question, pre-gens is kind of railroading players? Question mark.
It is, that is definitely training wheels, asking the players pick a pre-gen, so you don't have to think too hard, and we can focus on learning the game or enjoying the adventure itself that somebody else wrote.
But I still think, okay, if I'm bringing in, I'm really in a new guy, I wouldn't give a pre-gen. I'll do what I said. Like, tell me what you want to play, and I'll worry mechanics. Because the goal of the game is for you to inhabit another guy's skin, and
yes,
it's easier if you make up your own guy. Like, it'll be easier for you to become that guy, so to speak, roleplay him. If I just give you like
indeed.
a rando.
You literally ask him who do you want to be, right?
Batman.
I want to be Batman. It's like, I want to be the badass, suave, intelligent, rich guy that sees what's wrong in the world and uses super cool technology to beat up bad guys.
Yeah, Nicholas's suggestion is definitely the ideal, because not only do you get what you want, ideally, if the GM knows how to actually make the character for you, you also go in with an expectation, mechanical expectation for what you can do. So there's not that disconnect of, well, I can shoot a gun. I didn't really expect to be able to shoot a gun as Batman, but okay, just weird stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good to me. We good to continue?
Yep.
Party. That's not to say, of course, that classes are the only way to do character creation, just that I think in most cases they are a good default. For the Verve, classes worked really well because they tap into a core idea of the Verve, which is people are developing unique sets of skills which they're using to overcome challenges. when it comes to problem solving, I want every player in the group to be able to contribute something different, and making sure that they all pick different classes, or at least different subclasses, should help maintain that different skill set.
For that, it's harder for us to judge. I did not look at the PDF yet. I watched like half of the video before setting up the call. So I'm gonna take him by his words. For me, this sounds very close to how Pathfinder is set up. Here are the different classes. Here are like the different skill sets. Build your characters and figure out, like, let the players figure out to build a group that is well-rounded.
That is like an insane idea to me. The idea that what distinguishes your character is your class and your subclass.
Yeah.
What?
I guess it
Your
depends
character
on.
is a player. Yeah.
It depends.
Them
I
are
guess
fighting
it
words.
like Zonalar said, it depends on, I mean, what your opposition is. So in his game, without knowing, I have to assume that the GM facing content is being written with that in whatever they're going to be opposed to is being written in mind with these problem solving skills and abilities that the characters are going to be given.
Yes.
So it's really hard to judge that without seeing it, but I would be very surprised to see if that's actually the case, where you need to have this balanced party.
So to give an obvious example is when you play D&D and you got 5 rogues, or you got like 2 rogues and 3 fighters, like 2 rogues, 2 fighters, and 1 barbarian, and people look at each other at the table and they're like, okay, who's gonna play the cleric? And nobody wants to speak up. No, I don't want to be the heal bot. And that is anathema to roleplay for me. I don't want to think about a balanced party composition, because the balanced party composition has nothing to do with role-playing. It doesn't aid me at in being able to role-play my characters with other people at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that like you're discouraged from playing the Thieves Guild party and just picking rogue thief or whatever, that's okay. That's kind of lame.
It's a choice, but now we think, okay, so those choices are not possible in your game system because of the way the game is designed, the design goals in mind. Comments?
I agree.
Okay, let's.
Yep.
So classes help keep skill sets distinct. It's also a thing. Do you guys are you guys happy to play a game where you're like 4 fighters, but one fighter is just kind of better than everybody else because he like specialized real hard, and you're more all-rounded, and then every fight you have, you just see him do 50% more damage than you.
Well, damage is not everything, but it sucks if I cannot go with a character concept that I have in mind. I'm not saying that every game should accommodate for everything, because then you get GURPS. It just becomes like brown mush, but
Reducing food.
well,
down
I already
to
expressed my
protein.
opinion on I already expressed my opinion on classes, so
Yeah, it's the
think
same.
I'll be-
It's definitely the same point. And I also look at Shadowrun. If you play with an adept, with a cyber samurai, with a hacker, and a mage. Now, if one of those elements are missing, you have to change the adventure for the party, because otherwise it's gonna be a lopsided affair, and really, they're just going to struggle, and the players will feel like you're being unfair as a game master, instead of feeling, oh, this is immersive. Of course they would have an hermetic mage as part of the company. We should have been prepared for that.
But that can be roleplay too. I don't think. Again,
Yes, it can.
I always say that, but oh man, I'm having a cramp on my leg. Wait, no!
Too much pizza.
I'm getting evil spells being cast on me. Oh man, I'm gonna die here. I've been cursed.
Do a stretch.
Okay, wait. It went away.
I cast leg torsion on you.
Yeah. Oh man, I was on my like left foot. You know when it's like under the feet,
Oh
under the
no!
foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the worst.
But it's back. I was about to say what was I about to say? I don't know anymore. It was stolen from me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I remember. Okay. Another problem I have with classes is that they narrow down. At least for some people, this is what I see, right? I'm not saying, of course, you can roleplay, but it narrows down too much to what you can do, unless you start disregarding class, which I would say that's what I did in our 5e game, and I believe that's what I think that everybody was doing that in that table. Like I was not thinking of my class. I was just role-playing my character, which at some points maybe it was not optimal. Like I would not be able to do things that I thought I should be able to. Like I was jumping from tree to tree branch from tree branch. In my head, I should be able to do that just fine. But the game said, no, you can't. You know? Like, okay, fine. But I kept doing it. I kept, in spite of the game.
I hate your game. Look at it. I will jump.
And it makes you think of combat.
Way, right?
All classes are centered around combat, and he does mention like social classes, so I think he did notice that problem. Like, oh wait, it's all combat.
Yeah, this will come up soon. But one thing that does like come to my mind is that through the vast majority of human history, like a group of guys like fighting, like a mercenary band, they're all fighters. Like they're all the fighter class. Are you gonna argue that every single person that just uses a sword and a shield is like the same thing? Like, are they all the same character? I think that your system, if you can't have a group of 5 fighters, then the system is too overbearing on what the description of a fighter is. Because if you can't roleplay outside of that mold, then surely it's not a role-playing game. It's just a game where you play your archetype. It's an archetype playing game.
It's a video game, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, to that extent, right? I doubt that you can't play a group of 5 fighters with every single fighter being a very different character. I think that the reason people worry about, like, say, playing a group of 5 fighters with the same subclass is because people are not role-playing in combat. If every single fighter just runs up the goblin attack, runs up the goblin attack, runs up the goblin attack, if every time they all get hit, they just use like second wind or whatever, yeah, they are the same character because no one is role-playing in combat. Surely one of the fighters might be afraid of goblins. Surely one of the fighters is like, he's more worried about protecting himself. So like he'll stay in the back and like pretend that he's helping the rest of the guys, right? If you're role-playing your character, then there's no way that just characters that use a sword and shield don't feel the same.
No. And if you're role-playing, your guy will be like, wait a second, we have access to wizards. Why don't we have one in our hunting group? Like, that's about one. If wizards are that common, like, we should hire one. You don't need classes to have the verisimilitude of, yeah, that's what a balanced adventurers would do. You know, they would seek out people with good skills and the certain powers or whatever. You can just, if you're role-playing, it naturally goes there, I would say.
Yeah, like it was common for mercenary companies to hire engineers so they can build like siege works and things like that.
Yeah.
So that is the thing that happened, right? So now you can have a player be the engineer here. The other is like a fighter, but he's more of like a leader type of fighter. And you have like another type of fighter that is more of the brute, like the grunt of the leader, things like that. Yeah, your character, if the class is too overbearing, then your character will fit into the mold of the class and nothing will come out.
I mean, that was the big challenge of Pendragon, right? Everybody's a knight. Now figure it out. You know, how are you going to define your knight?
Indeed, the constraints of you have to be a male knight and figuring out what makes you stand apart from all the others allows the players to really focus in on how they want to roleplay their characters and what their specific goals are, separate from all the other players at the table.
While you have
that's a good idea,
a
right?
cool lion on your shield, I have a jackalope on mine.
Oh, we're so different, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Look at this graphic right in front of us from the video, right? So classes help keep skill sets distinct. But what about a character that falls between two classes, right? Let's talk about like let's talk about the Thieves Guild that you guys mentioned. Like it's like 3 rogues and like 2 fighters. Those fighters, for them to be in the Thieves Guild, it means that they are to a certain extent roguish. You know, they need to, maybe they're like the bodyguard of one of the thieves, but they still need to be stealthy. They need to follow the thieves like in Cloak and Dagger, right? So what about that character? Like, how do you play him? He's a fighter, and if the classes keep the skill sets distinct, like it is said here, then the fighter is not going to be a rogue because they're distinct. So I completely disagree with this. I think that you should have a more free-form type of play where you can allow play outside of the class. And I mean, I don't like using 5e as a good example here, but you can like pick like a street urchin or whatever and have a little bit of stealth as a fighter, right?
We will get to
But I'm
this,
sure
so
that, you know, his system has something like that.
I want him. I want to hear more of his videos because he does address like the endless combinations, so to say, of how to make your character.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So onto something that's a little bit unique about the Verve, and that's why do I have social classes and combat classes? Most traditional TTRPGs will have the combat class side of things, I suppose,
The classic,
where
yes.
your class features are generally to do with combat, fighting, spells, those kinds of abilities. So the first reason that I've split out the social and the combat into two separate classes is because I wanted to decouple combat abilities from an explicit narrative.
Okay, pause. Oh
What do
my
I
God.
mean by that?
Why?
He wants to
Why
explain
would you
what he
found the
means.
problem, right?
Oh my God.
He went to the foundation of his home. He saw that like it's rotting apart, and okay, I see the problem. So he just like put some drywall on top of it. Now fixed.
Yeah, he found a bunch of what's the name of those insects that eat wood? I forgot.
Termite.
Termites, yes.
Yeah, he found a termite nest in one of the pillars of his house. So he put another termite nest on the opposite pillar so that you can have a war.
So
like
Age of Empires.
Yeah.
It works for fires.
And he will tell us why he did this, but just like instinctually, okay, decoupling mechanics from narrative, why is that a bad thing? Like, why? Let's explain it real quick.
Because
Because,
it comes
okay,
to a point where
let
it
me
stops
give you-
being natural, right?
Exactly. Let me give you a very vivid example. I think a lot of the people here that played RPGs before will have that singular moment where you're playing a game, like you're role playing. Oh, this is cool. Then the GM says roll initiative, and then people, they might even be like hyped to roll initiative, but doesn't everything shift after that? You roll initiative, and now you're no longer the wizard that was like talking to the elf. Now like you're waiting for your turn. Okay, got your turn. Got your turn. Okay, take your action. Finish my action. Okay, finish my turn. Oh, did you take your bonus action? Oh no, I didn't take my bonus action. Okay, oh, I have this bonus action here. I'll take it. You know, like the whole
Yes.
mindset of playing changes. It's like you're role playing for a moment, and then the board game allotment of the thing starts. It becomes a schizophrenic, disjointed.
Zolan, I
Activity.
don't know if you saw. I think Tyler's shared like this one screenshot of I think it was like Napoleonic era, where if you are level 15, you can start a riot and make like the people be angry with someone so they can tar and feather them, but only if you're level 15. It's like, how does that
Oh,
work in game, you
yes.
know? So you
Right.
start codifying things that your brain does the math for you. If you're a human being, does it automatically for you. You don't need to worry about that. And now you're making it be codified into a very unnatural way, you know, very stiff way. But maybe it's not going that deep into the narrative mechanic.
The good
But the
thing
danger
is
is there, you know?
he will explain to us why he does this right now. So why did he do this? He will tell us now.
That. Well, let's
Before we continue, I
take
just wanted to give a brief example as to what Conway was saying. I think the best, one of the best, but a perfect example of this is playing Baldur's Gate 3. Everything shifts. The moment, like, it is a beautiful visualization of we're in dialogue, we're engaging with this, but now suddenly different game. Like, oh, what just happened?
Combat starts.
When you get into combat, yeah.
The camera, everything
but
changes.
I
right?
don't think. Yeah, I don't think I got onto the reason why that is a bad thing, right? And let me tell you why that is a bad thing right now. It is because the moment, like any movie, I'm going to use movies here as a good example because I think people enjoy movies, right? I don't think that's a controversial opinion. But in movies, does Legolas stop being Legolas and just become like, I roll 2 attacks with 6, like 2d6 plus 4 damage every round? No, he's still Legolas when he's fighting. He's often talking to Gimli and like bantering, like, "Oh, I got another one," He is very daring. He's the one to shoot arrows and like climb on top of the the elephant. I'm losing all my token cred here by calling it an elephant, but whatever. So you can totally see how people want the characters to be characters in roleplay. But
Yes.
if you separate combat mechanics, like I said, the first pillar of why we use RPGs is to differentiate characters from one another. If you separate that differentiation and everyone is just a little token that can take little actions and it's all just non-visual, then it stops being a role-playing game. It's just a war game. And I mean, sure, every now and then you can add a little flair of like, oh, I aim for the orc's eye and I shoot his eye out, right? You can do that. But why don't you do that all the time? Why would you have 10% roleplay in your role-playing game when you can have 90% role-playing in your role-playing game, you know?
This is very much the difference of people that enjoy what's it called, like turn-based combat, compared to people that enjoy like real-time combat. Things move all the time, and I like to be under pressure, having to decide what to do next, and coming up with my own priority system of how my character approaches things. Like bullets start flying, I'm not looking around where the enemy is, I'm looking for cover, figure out where the bullets are impacting, retrace like which side of the wall, and then pull my gun out, lean over the cover and shoot in that direction with a spray, just to see if to make them stop shooting so I can pinpoint them later on. Now, if we are in turn-based combat, time has frozen, and I can ask the game master a couple questions. Where are they coming from? How many are there?
It's no longer stressful.
Yeah.
It's no longer, you're a guy and there's a troll twice your size in front of you. He's about to swing. Well, what the fuck do you do? It's not about that anymore. It just becomes a fucking war game. I mean, me and Zola were watching a game yesterday, and the GM described like these little red dots. It was like a modern day game, and like these little red dots start coalescing on the bodies of the players. And, like, that's stressful. Like there's like snipers about to shoot you, right?
That's very cool.
And then one of the players just says, "Oh, what's the atmospheric condition like?" Right? Like what? Like, how can you? That is a very funny thing if you think about it, because you're in a stressful position where snipers are about to take you out, and now you're asking what the atmospheric condition is like.
Well, they
like,
did
play
take
the
you
role,
out of the game.
Look, man, he has ADHD. Okay, don't go so hard on him. He got distracted a bit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, right? Be diegetic. It is very cool if you don't say anything for 10 seconds, the GM just skips your turn because you're just standing there like dumbfounded. A lot of people will talk about like player skill. Like there is no player skill if you can pause the GM and tell him to retell the whole story of the universe, so that it can take your fucking action, so that you can stab the goblin on the left instead of the one on the right.
Gonna take some comments here just to see if Chad had something to say. We got Daryl
Perfect.
again. I mean, people are saying the Genoese crossbowmen were freaking awesome. I agree, they were cool. I love them in Age of Empires too. I don't know too much about them except they're super cool.
I love them in medieval too. They're awesome, yeah. Like they have like these massive shields, like pavises that they dig in front of them.
It got
So that it's like standing behind a shield.
yes, absolutely, and that's super cool. Like if you play that in a role-playing game, I would feel like, oh wow, like this is like fighting a mini boss. I need to keep cover because if he turns to me behind the shield with his crossbow on, trained, like I'm dead meat.
But then the system makes you survive 15 arrows.
Oh, he shoots a couple shots. I dodge them all, and then I kill him. I walk up and stab him. 49
GM, does he have the crossbow expert feat so that he can reload his crossbow and attack multiple times in a round?
Oh well, I guess.
How does that even
It's not
look
on the
right?
character sheet?
Anyhow, I deviate once again.
Daryl could do a list of prescribed skills for class, list of common skills to purchase, and ability to purchase from another class at a higher cost. Yeah, that is this hybridization. So you got your niche, and like Path of Exile, you pick a circle, and the further away you move from your circle, the more expensive it gets because you have to travel like a literal distance
Oh,
of
Daryl,
points.
I misread your comment. I thought you were mentioning something else. That's why I answered it. Because there are some classless games systems that some books they write down like, oh, if you want to kind of go for like a sneaky guy, like you can get these X whatever feats stuff. This
Yeah.
basically an aid if you're lost, or I think that's a good practice. If you really want to be like, this, I'll help you. I'll carry you in my arms.
K-Dolo here, it's important to make sure the fighter has nothing to do when social class gets to shine. And also for the social class to have nothing to do when the fighter gets to shine. Now, this sounds very sarcastic to me because that sounds super
It is.
boring, right? Like if okay, it's the hacker's turn now to hack the planet, and all the other players they said, let's call for pizza as the hacker does his minigame on the table for 30 minutes.
It does scare
Can I
me
be
a
super
little
cynical
bit,
here? Can I be like
yes.
super cynical here? Doesn't just having a social and a combat class just push the goalpost further? Because now I'm not a fighter, you see, but I'm a noble fighter. Then now I'm stuck to being a noble and being a fighter, right? It basically creates a new class, noble fighter, or maybe like a hermit fighter or something
Absolutely.
like that. It's moving the goalposts. It's not that you're just a fighter; you're a hermit fighter, right?
And
Then
that
now
is-
you have
yeah.
11 types of fighter that you can play. But after you play for a long time, then I want something more than just like these different archetypes of fighter.
This will be addressed in the video. Level 8
that's cool. Okay.
board
Let
gets a
us
record
proceed.
deal. Oh, at level 8, the board gets the record deal. I mean, those were
Yeah,
like
this-
literal mechanics.
this-
If you're like a level 12 fighter, people start flocking to you and you get like
Yeah.
1d6 apprentices who want to learn under you, warriors. and stuff
The other
like
thing
that.
I think was like level 9. You can now buy a stronghold. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
I could never do this.
I didn't know that
Social
level
credit.
9 was holding me back this hard, you know? Yeah, we got Nicholas, they responded to you like Dragonbane does this. Is Dragonbane, you mean, that's the point you mean of getting hirelings to do the stuff that you don't know? I don't know, but
Okay,
I'm gonna
I should say
believe-
this, right?
yeah, go ahead.
Dragon
This
Bane
video
is the
seems like
DuckTale
it-
guy.
Okay. It seems like this video is really well thought out and really well produced. Because every time we come to a certain critique, Zonler says that we'll see more of it later, right?
Exactly.
So can I just say this is like a very well produced video? I think that we disagree on different opinions, but this is a very great video, man.
And that's gonna be a key
leave it at
part of this. What I see very often with game designers is they try to engineer mechanics to solve a philosophical problem at the table. The problem are not the
Yeah, I'm-
mechanics; it's the philosophy behind it all, because it's not from the
wish
framework of trying to roleplay at a role-playing game, but to play a tabletop game, where sometimes roleplay happens.
I wished up to hear, and I'm dying to hear what his opinion is with decoupling combat mechanics from narrative. Are we up to date with chat?
Yes.
Watching Nick's avatar move around's cracking me up. Fantastic. Yes, I was laying the sarcasm on very you made it obvious. Thank you very much for helping me out. I'm an old man. The mechanics interfere with roleplay. That is a big concern when we play role-playing games. How much do the mechanics interfere? And it's also how we are gonna judge like the verve with. But we don't know yet. I don't know if we're gonna find out. It's taking long enough to watch the video. Maybe we will have time for the PDF, depending on the guest. Ready to continue, guys?
Let's do it.
An explicit narrative. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take D&D as the common touchstone. If I wanted to play a supportive character, focused around healing and buffing and such. Okay,
everybody who thinks this way about role-playing games, I want to reconsider strongly why they joined the hobby.
Get some help.
Get some, yes.
Here's the thing: if all of you guys just log in on Craft and you go do a few dungeons, you'll get that same experience, and you won't need to have the effort of like scheduling everything. It's way more casual, right? Here's the thing: we argue that we.
Yeah, we made that point multiple times by now, right? What we want.
We argue that you should use the strength of each medium. The strength of the medium of RPGs is role-playing. It's in the game, right? It's in the name. It's a role-playing game. Now, if you want to just play like a support class, then there's a ton of awesome video games out there you can play. There's even like war games. Like go play any type of board game. Like what's a good one?
I don't know. I don't play them, right? But yeah, we got lots of fans of board games in our groups that
I played the Dark Souls board game. That's a very fun one, actually.
Ooh, cool.
Gloomhaven
Yeah.
is like right there next to D&D, like as far as minis go.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
Gloomhaven. I forgot
That's
that word, yeah.
literally let's just board game the role playing game instead. Lean into the strengths of the system.
I would be more or less required to either be religious, swear some kind of oath, or be a musician of some kind. That is, if I want to be mechanically really good at support and healing and such. Which is a little bit of a restriction in terms of my narrative. What if I don't want to play a religious character or someone who's sworn some kind of oath? There is a cost, of course, from splitting the sort of backstory elements of your character, the more social, narrative-y stuff, from the more mechanical combat features. And that's that it does mean my combat classes lack a core narrative hook in the same way that some of the best D&D classes do, like Warlocks. On the other hand, though, it means that none of my classes are
I
the
was
narrative
restraining
equivalent
myself.
of wet cardboard, because they're all bland, right? Nothing stands out as lacking, because everything lacks.
We can stop here for now.
Right. Right. So one thing that irks me is that he said he's separating like the fluff of the background from the canonical mechanics. Like, what does he mean by that? Can we get like exactly what he said right there?
It
Couldn't
is
be like
if
maybe
you
a
want to
simulationist
support, if you want to
approach?
support a party, you have to make an oath, pray to a god, or be a singer. You know, he simplified the board a little bit.
Wait, so
That's the thing, though, right?
doesn't he
He's
have
totally correct.
lore, though?
That is a problem.
I don't think if it is a problem because D&D, I mean, there's also the droid. So you have divination, you have nature, you have the oath, so like your conviction allowing for that, and that depends on whatever you wanted to go for in universe. Is it gods or other like supernatural powers, you know, like death and life are more manifested than in other
I
games?
think that's where we disagree, Zolar, because I do think it is a problem, right? What if I
Right.
want to play surgeon? What if I want to play like a wizard that is anatomist? Like he studies human anatomy, and because of this, he can heal people, right? Like I do think that
can't
is
do
a
that in
problem. Like,
D&D.
yeah, the more freedom you give your players, like the more different concepts they'll be able to conjure and play.
Yeah, in
the
that
table.
way, this influences the setting you're playing in, right? It's like, oh, I say, oh, I want to run a D&D game, and people are all getting on board. Yeah, I'm down. Oh, I want to play the monsters. It sounds cool. Yeah, sure. Can I play the what's it called? Like the Forge guy, the little robot with an abacus, though. I don't know. I mean, look, there are classes and races for that. And they're all available, and it is D&D, but it's not the setting I'm going for the game.
I don't see how that's a problem.
Yes. Okay, so I'm saying that you're not limited by the classes because you just create more classes for that. Pathfinder solved this by you can just play the thaumaturge, right? You are the mage that can heal. And this is a new class now
I don't know,
that has its own flavor to solve this
It's a
problem.
fix
No,
by bloating, though.
What?
It is, yeah. If I buy a role playing game, I don't
Yeah.
want to make my own class to be able to play in it. Like I paid for the book. It is clearly an issue with the book if I need to create my own content to keep playing. And I know that a lot of people are very in favor of like homebrew and like the rules here or whatever. But if your book just straight up doesn't have the content for the type of universe you want to portray, that is an issue with the book. Because I don't think that a surgeon in a D&D world would be something that would break the world, right? I mean, I could totally. It's not fair criticism. Oh, I can't play Naruto with 5e, right? You know, that's not.
Yeah, that's not fair.
But a surgeon would totally exist, like in Faerun.
Yes.
For sure. And that
A
one is
barber
limited
surgeon.
because, it's like, oh no, that's not a class. But you can pick this feat where you can heal somebody when you use a medicine kit. It's very, very limiting of, well, you have to spend a whole feat to even unlock this. So you're not a level 1 surgeon, you have to wait until level 4. Like silly
Yeah.
things like that.
But you're not just a surgeon. This isn't what defines you, even though it probably should. It's, I'm a surgeon who's also a fighter, which can be interesting, or I'm a surgeon that is a warlock. But it's not. 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 It's not But I just kind of want to be a surgeon, though.
Yeah,
Sorry, can't do that.
no can do.
If you have a list of features, then you
nobody's
can let your
asking.
players pick and choose, right?
Do you have maybe like a comparison for this for Warhammer 40k game? Because there you have a very strong flavors of what you can play and what you cannot play, right?
But you see,
Okay, Warhammer.
Warhammer is
so,
autism premium, so
so
you're already getting
Dark
like wanting
Heresy-
to play into the tropes. Sorry, go ahead,
I
Colin.
want to play a imperial felonite soldier. Okay, it's all I'm saying.
Well,
Give me my
okay,
cat ears.
you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna have cat ears. At most, you're gonna be blue. But regardless,
I will have
so Dark Heresy Second Edition.
a tail.
Dark Heresy Second Edition is what came to my mind, and it is an interesting system because it has classes to a certain extent. They're called like your careers, but you can actually
Right,
buy
yes.
anything from any class. What your classes give you are different aptitudes that give you discounts on buying certain things. So if you're the Chirurgeon, which is an actual class in Dark Heresy Second Edition, it is much cheaper for you to learn how to learn operate and learn all of these different healing skills. Medicae is what it's called actually.
Yeah.
Right. So that is an interesting way to do it because I do think that some people lend themselves to learning something better. I don't think everyone is a tabula rasa when it comes
Yes.
to upgrading their character. They should have different aptitudes that they're good at, right? So I think that's a good system to do it. Another good example is the unofficial Elder Scrolls RPG. That one is even more free-flowing because you don't even pick a class. Like you choose what attributes are your favorite attributes.
Oh,
and then
is
you
it
can,
literally
upgrade.
tabletop version of the game? Like
Kind of.
increase
It's
your alchemy
translated.
skills.
It's
and-
translated, I would say.
It's a very good translation. Yeah, you have the standard stones still, but they're not classes. You're not bound.
I'm thinking Second Edition, so I don't remember standing stones in Second Edition.
Not
You
standard
just pick
stones,
like
I
your race.
apologize.
basically.
Star signs. I'll have to pull it up. But
Oh yeah, star signs.
Okay.
Oh, star sign. I
Yeah,
see
but
what
the
you
star
mean.
signs are random though. The star signs are random. They don't actually like determine a class to a certain extent. Right?
Yeah,
But it's a very good
absolutely.
system. It's one of my
Actually-
favorite systems out there.
I actually like when characters they have like an odd skill that maybe does not match with everything else because that implies something there. I think if you're a role player, a real role player,
A real
Absolutely.
one.
you can juice that. You can juice that.
Yeah.
Like why does my warlock like has dance? Like why can he dance? Like what's the story behind that? You know?
It's part of the ritual to summon the devil, you know?
Yeah.
There you go.
I really enjoy this. This is also a feature of the Dark Eye, the German role-playing game. There are no classes, they're just professions. Professions that your character went on as like before you started playing the game. So you could be like the literal have the background of a farmer. But the whole game is set up that eventually, like when you play the game, you play a hero. So if you play somebody that has like knows how to steal stuff, you gain like, what is it? It's similar to Shadowrun. You just pay like this bag of points, and then you have some points left over that you can spread the points even more to get the skills that you want to realize your character concept. And the
Yeah, so, I
background,
mean,
gives,
let the
the background
players-
gives you like multiple points in several ways. Like you know how to farm, you have perception checks, you can read the weather faster and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let
I
the
think
players figure out what their character is.
BRP does that a lot too, between Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest even, because you're gonna in Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest you're gonna choose your profession, which I'm a doctor, right, or I'm a soldier or cop or bouncer, but then I have my good boy points to round things out at the end. These are my hobbies, so on and so forth. Same exact thing with RuneQuest. I'm fitting into this archetype of chariot driver or policeman or whatever, but I'm still a person. This is what I otherwise do with my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, and I think that
Very
letting your
clever.
players figure that out is the best thing you can do. And that ties into the very next point, which is very insidious if you actually believe this. It is the idea that you need to have a hook for every single archetype for your players to latch on. Like what? Like surely your player wants to play something like a cool idea that they have, right? Well,
Mhm.
I don't think this is a good example, right? But I don't open a book of like D&D and like, oh, I can play a barbarian. No, I already have like this interesting idea of a character. Maybe he's based on like the medieval times, or he's based on Faerun if I know the setting. So it's kind of crazy that you're putting the onus on yourself of having to hook the players to play a cool character. And in my opinion, a player should be the one with an awesome idea for a character.
Tell
Right?
me,
So
tell
why
me
is- why
if
do
you heard
you,
this one before.
a game
You're-
designer,
Yeah,
why
tell
do
me.
you as a game designer need
ahead.
to do this? Like the players should want to roleplay.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes. And definitely, you're a game master. You sit there with players that they are not proactive, they're reactive, passive. They wait for you to tell the story, to move them around so they can roll dice and park jump at the natural 20. Oh my god, this is so exciting! I never thought this day would come. That I rolled the maximum number on my die roll, and you end up in this habit of, well, how do I make them more interested in their class that they can pick and choose? And you create this whole system that doesn't solve the core problem of the player being interested in your world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something that young Steve said on Black Lodge a while back, and I hate that he's right, but it is the case. Where
hate
Warlock,
it.
I hate it. Warlock is one of the most, or if not the most interesting class in 5e,
Yes.
because by the nature of the class, you are grounded in the setting. So even if you don't touch anything, by the sheer mechanics of what you are picking, you now have an Archfey, a Fiend, a Great Old One that is now associating you and quote unquote
Yeah.
forcing you into the setting. So
It's real trash with D&D players because they complained that they get punished for playing a paladin that breaks their own oath. Like, you absolute imbecile, stop playing the paladin if you don't want to break an oath. You know, if you want all of this heavenly glory power in your hammer to smite your foes, you better follow up on the oath you've done. This is core of your character concept, and if it is not, do not play the class.
And this is the actual result if you try to woo players into playing a class. They'll be interested in the thing that is written down instead of being interested in roleplaying. They don't want to play a character. They want to play a paladin 5 that deals like 42d6 on a crit with a divine smite. Like, that's not cool. Like, we're trying to roleplay, aren't
Yeah.
we?
He wants to play the level 5 paladin because he knows he can heal 25 hit points on the spot every day if he needs to. And it's like, oh, that's so powerful. It's I don't want
You
to
know
like
what's funny?
insult people, but for me this is cringe. When I hear that at the table, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's what you get off to?
Y-
Really?
You know what's funny? Like, listen to the stories that people tell you. Like, oh, dude, I love role-playing games because, like, what stories do they tell you? They tell you about that time when they, like, infiltrated, like, the Wizard's Tower. They tell you about that time that they fooled the Orc War Chief into being an ally with them. Every single thing that they talk about that is amazing about the hobby is something that is steeped into the roleplay, that is steeped into, like, these awesome concepts. They don't talk about, like, that time they did, like, 700 damage in one attack. Well, some of them do, but those are the weirdos, right? The thing is, what they want is the
We're the top
roleplay.
one.
But if you design your game like that, then the only thing to aspire to is to get to level 17 when you get to cast Black Hole on the dragon. Like, if everything you want in a role-playing game is just to level up to get the next cool feature, are you even role-playing? Are you even a role player? I would say no.
I'll
You're
tell
not.
you,
This is
I'll
very
tell you a
much
secret.
chasing-
I'll tell you a
chasing-
secret.
You go
There
ahead.
is no anti-cheat on D&D. You can just make a character straight up level 17 if you want, man. You don't need to
can.
go through
What?
7 hours each week.
But I have to
How
earn it.
dare you? I have
need
to
to-
earn it.
I need to whip my back 20,000 times before I can learn time stop, man. It's part of the experience. You don't understand. There we go. Daryl Arrett asked a couple questions, so I just wanna go to the newest ones. Anyone check out Choppy Funster's Shadow Rim? I did not. I know he talked about his stuff on some of the other channels, but
I haven't either, I'm afraid.
I cannot comment. Although I do like him. He sounds cool. Cool to me. So, cool beans. Any other game that does career changes like Warhammer Fantasy? I cannot comment on that one. What about you guys?
Same. Can't.
Even in the case of RuneQuest or Mithras, you have your background career, but that you're not bound to what it says.
Career changes, there is a little bit in D&D, like learning a new language where you just spend some time and some money. There are some rules for stuff like, oh, you're unhappy with your cantrips, you can change them nowadays with the optional rules, but like the whole class itself, I just allow players in the first 3 levels, if you hate your class, pick a different class. I don't care. But I have surrendered, like the narrative, the world, the realism of the world to allow for player convenience at that point. Because I didn't want them to suffer like 5 more sessions playing a class they hate.
I am a firm believer in the idea that limitations breed creativity.
Oh, I don't know if Nicholas is talking or not because I cannot hear him, but he's moving.
No, my guy, it's picking up micro sounds.
Okay,
cosmic
gotcha.
beams straight from Azathoth. Do not mind.
I am a firm
Cursed
believer
wizard.
in the idea that limitations breed creativity. And you might
Sure.
say that removing this limitation of narrative from combat mechanics is sort of the opposite. I actually think that the interplay between your combat class and your social class is itself a limitation. As I think was reasonably demonstrated in my little example character build, the fact that I was having to work out how an entertainer might become a craftsman and use a crossbow led to, I think, an interesting character concept. It was obviously a very quick character concept, but
That's the other video
nonetheless.
he is referencing.
The other reason to split out social and combat class is I wanted to give more mechanical weight to social features.
Oh,
In a sense, you can see social
character
class
has
as
both?
replacing background in D&D. What I wanted was your background
choose up
equivalent to
background
continue
system.
to influence your character as you grow, in not just narrative, but in really mechanical ways, in certain features that you unlock. That way, you're constantly reminded of where your character has come from and where they're going. Finally, the layering of your social and combat class just leads to so much more character diversity than would be achievable by even designing 50 classes. There are over 1,000 different combinations, just considering subclasses,
Wowza!
not including multiclassing. I think that gives the Verve significant longevity in that there will always be a new idea for you to try out.
Now
Okay,
this
pause
is
there.
I definitely
What if you
have
just
things to
roleplay?
say. Go ahead.
10
there
times
aren't like
the classes.
10 times.
15
There aren't, like,
times the
13
defeats.
Okay, I'm gonna ask like you a question that might be like a leading question, but respond like with actual meaning to this, right? Like actually think about this.
The
Do you
actual
think
meaning.
that there are only 1,300 different types of characters in D&D?
That's a maximum
Like because you're
number.
talking like a big, yeah, because you're talking like a big game of we can have like 1,300 different like characters. But do you think that the limitation of the world is to only have 1,300 types of characters? Because let me posit this to you. I think there are infinite amounts of characters. I think that you could play
Yes.
for 7 billion years and never run into the same character again.
Even in a
Because you could-
bare
you know,
bone
it-
games like Markborg, you have an infinite possible roster of characters you could play.
Yeah.
It's not your design on here are the social classes and the martial classes, and I don't know what the free stands for exactly. So I don't know because we didn't watch all the other
subclasses,
ones.
I think.
Yeah, and
I
that is
will-
like
I
There's
will-
subclasses for combat and social
Yeah.
classes.
and he's not
will
considering
give him-
multi-classing either for this one.
I will give him that. The impression I have is that the system kind of guides you into building a character, like a well-rounded character, and I think that's cool. Because it seems like you have to think, wait, I used to be a carpenter, but now I'm casting magic. How is that? So maybe it does aid you into making a believable character that fits in the world it inhabits.
Yes,
It is better than 5e.
I think that's a
It's a low bar.
that's a plus.
a classic experience is as a game master having new players to teach D&D. I'm like, all right, so what are you interested in? They say, oh, I think I'm gonna try out this ranger. Ranger sounds cool. I like animals. I want an animal. It's okay, sure. And what background do you wanna pick for your character? Like, who is your character? They're like, what background? Is that important? Do I need that? It's like so far removed from the core of the class of their character that most of them have like no interest, or literally they just leave it blank for the first session. When I ran like more one shots or games for people to like get them, introduce them into the hobby in the first place. You can just keep watching. Yeah, that's
Well, one thing here is that you might be saying, okay, yeah, sure, Conway, you can play 7 billion different types of characters, whatever. Every single human person is different, right? But how is it represented in the universe? Because he did say that the mechanics are canonical, right? I don't even exactly know what he means by this. But let's go with the idea that it is only canonical if the book said that it is. You know, you're playing the mechanics less than just role playing. Well, let me tell you, the way you do it is through description. Does every single character open a door the exact same way? Right? So let's say that they like use strength to kick down a door, right? That is indeed a way to characterize a character. Like a character with more strength is more likely to be able to kick down a door, and that's something that we want to see in an RPG. But even beyond just the mechanics, let me give you an example of like two different characters opening a door. So you have a haunted manor, and the rogue watches the porch of the manor, and he looks up to the darkened windows above. He slowly approaches, hugging the wall, then slowly leaps up on the porch, his padded boots not making any noise, as he reaches and tries the door. And then you can also have the paladin try to do this. The paladin walks up the steps, his armor clinking as he does, sabatons hitting the bottom of the wooden floor, making a lot of noise as he kicks a door down. There was not a single roll there. They didn't have to roll to open the door, thank God. But can you tell how different those two characters are just by the way they open a simple door? Is this not canonical to the universe?
Since
Do you need mechanics for this?
Yeah, you need to roll attack to the door if you can, roll for damage or not.
Oh, that's so painful.
Right? Yeah, and the flip. I was going to add that the flip to that is that you could. I know you use the term rogue and you use the term paladin in this case, but that was just a shorthand for us in the example. But I mean, in all reality, you could have had the thief-ish person be the religious, pious one for whatever reason, and doing that leap and that infiltration, or the, and vice versa, the roguish criminal busting down the door. Like we use these shorthands, but none of that was needed. In all reality, for these characters specifically.
Yeah, so you can see how for us, imagination is the limit. The amount of characters it can play is infinite. Imagination is the limit. What you're doing is limiting this imagination to 13 different characters that you can play. And I don't want that.
Now, this is 4D.
And that's one of the things of, I don't see this as a thing you solve with engineering better rules. You solve this philosophically before you start playing the game. What is the goal? What is the goal that we want to achieve? Being immersed in our characters and using the rules in the game to help us decide when we succeed and fail, when we try to climb, when we try to swim in the ocean and the waves are crashing over us. Like, can we breathe? Like, or do we start to drown? Like, do we get tumbled around? When you're in a firefight, you don't know if you're dodging all those bullets or not. But it's cool if you can roll for it, or at least if the enemy rolls, if they hit you or not. And all of those mechanics helping you decide if you are successful, and also show a level of competence. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing the video then. Sounds good.
Next, why have I done a sort of hybrid skill tree linear class system? For those who haven't watched my class video, what are you doing? This video kind of assumes you've already done that, so go back and watch it. Anyway, as a quick reminder, of course, you are free to choose the features within a tier in any order, but you can only unlock the tiers in tier order, right? You have to have 4 features from tier 1 before you can select any from tier 2, 4 features from tier 2 before you can select anything from tier 3, etc. I'll be honest, this was an idea that more or less appeared fully formed in my mind when I started creating the Verve. It wasn't something that had much iteration to it. And I think it finds a really nice middle ground between giving you creative freedom in how you want to build your character, while also giving clear progression. If there are certain features within a class that really excite you, you have a degree of autonomy as to how early you pick that feature up. But obviously, I want to be able to design powerful features for when you're a high-level character. But I can't have those features accessible at level 1, or the progression of the game would get all messed up. Delaying those features for later levels then builds anticipation. The other nice thing about the class framework...
No. It is exactly what we were talking about. Wanting the anticipation. Is this game just about leveling up? Oh man, that's kind of rough.
So I think this design process is here to solve the problem of, well, the players, they are learning spells, but when should you be able to learn time stop or wish, or like something similar that is thematic for your system that you're playing for the setting.
So the description of his. Please go on. I was going to tangent. Go on.
No, tangent. I think your tangent is better right now.
Oh, the example that he gives is exactly how Werewolf the Apocalypse's magic system works. It's gifts, where a starting character has access to level 1 gifts, and then they can get stronger gifts, but they have to have the 1, then they can get a 2, then a 3, then a 4, then a 5, or what have you. They have to have a certain amount so they can get the stronger ones. That's isolated to its magic system. So I think that way to scale the game is cool, but if that's the entire game, then that's really weird for characterization.
And this is...
I don't think it's cool. And let me tell you why, right? What about the... I think that you can a lot of times see the archetype of like a really smart, really powerful arcane wizard, but he's a frail old man like me.
Yeah.
You know, like a cool archetype? Like, yeah, I'm a wizard. I can blow you up from a million miles away. But if you get to me and you stab me in the chest, I'm dead because I'm a frail old man, right? This is an issue I have with D&D 5e. Like, for you to be an archmage, even if you have like very low constitution,
exactly the
you're gonna
hit
be
point
like
system. You
By
get hit
then,
17.
yeah, you'll be quite tanky.
So, why can't I make a character that that can blow up a castle, but I can barely walk down the street? Like, I need to be carried by my minions, like a bunch of goblins carrying me around. Isn't that like a cool character idea? Like, you're limiting different characters' ideas by requiring people to level up through a structure like in an RPG. I think it's cool that you can fight a villain that has like 4 hit points. Like, he's just a duke manipulating everyone in the background, but he has 4 hit points. You can't just
even in just to add to the Werewolf example, even in Werewolf, your starting character can have those higher level gifts. You just have to isolate them, and you have to be weaker in all their fields to do that. A starting character can do that, absolutely.
Even in the progression system, it's what old school D&D players lament about, the ballooning of all the hit points everything has nowadays. They really enjoyed it when the wizard had 1d4 hit points per level, compared to the barbarian that can have 1d10 or 1d12. I'm not sure what was actually the case. I never played those games, but it gave the much stronger reflection of, if you fight a wizard, man, if you can get into close range, you will chop his head off, but he can also polymorph you into a newt, step on you,
And eat you.
and then he eats you.
The other nice thing about the class framework is that it's really modular. I hope that the video described it well enough that you could go out and design your own classes and subclasses without too much difficulty. Each subclass just needs 3 features, a tier 2, a tier 3 and a tier 4, and each class needs a total of 8 unique features. An initial feature, a utility feature, a combat feature, a final feature, and then 4 unique modifiers in the case of combat classes. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a huge amount of work. I really want people to feel able to create their own classes, whether that be for changing the game to fit a different genre, or to expand the options in the base setting of the Verve, or to move the Verve into a slightly different time period, something I am explicitly thinking about for a sci-fi setting. The only...
Well, we can look at this, and I believe we definitely, if we want to talk more about like the modularity of this, to pull up the PDF and see the practice. Because I can see this, Nicholas, you do use your Etra system and then change it out to play in a biotrauma style sci-fi game, but it's built for more of a Renaissance game.
No, it
where
was
the
stress
fa-
testing, I'd say.
Yeah, but you stress test it in different settings: a modern settings, a classic fantasy setting, the Stone Age setting.
No, just
I
to
think that it
see-
is lovely that you're designing something to be modular. That's a very good thing to go after. But I
Yeah,
think that you need to, if you, sorry, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you, so you go ahead.
No, you
I think
go
that if you're gonna make like a system design like this that is modular, you should also keep in mind that, you know, why would someone come to a system and just start things? I think you need like a good
Some
initial set for people to get hooked on the system, right?
Yes, you still need the draw to get people to play your system, and not GURPS, because GURPS
think
solves the
there-
same problem by being mush for everybody.
But I'll tell you,
Yeah, you know,
there's definitely
drop
people,
people
out
to
there
the system, not to the class.
There are definitely people out there who enjoys like building and like, oh, I'm gonna design my own class. I think there are a lot of people who enjoy doing that, and like,
Yeah, they're
It's
called
a-
Pathfinder players.
it's a hobby, you know. Yeah, yeah. But
No, this is
oh,
cool.
man,
This is
I had
really cool.
something
Yeah,
to
I
say.
like this.
I think the guy, it seems to know what he's doing on a game perspective. He convinced me. Like, it seems well thought out. If you approach it from a game perspective, not so much of a role play thing.
The next question is figuring out if we can roleplay in the Verve, and for that we just kind of need a session. Now it's still in alpha and everything, and there's so many game
like
ideas.
get a big
There's-
watermark like alpha, you know. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. It's like stress test. Do not flame the developers for the mechanics of the book.
Only a little.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
roleplay at home.
It
Do
is
you have the
advised to not,
verve
do not roleplay at
roleplay?
home if we are not responsible for the roleplay happening at your table.
I got the urge to.
If you die in game, you die in real life.
I'd be down.
Do
I'd
not
be down.
forget
I'll,
them,
I'll
kids.
make my
Just
own
know
class.
that
I'll
professionals-
make the fat wizard class in a game. Let's see. Let's just stress
But
test it
your
out.
social class fat. You come a class wizard.
Gourmand. I'm a
Yeah.
gourmand.
Absolutely. That would be a cool experiment. You know, like that we have so many ideas. So no promises, man. We have so many projects going on. You know, we're just like too famous. You know, we got too many ideas.
You know.
All we're saying is
True
like, pay us
pies, not enough
$100.
fingers.
No, pay me $100. I'll get a game going.
Too many pies, not enough fingers. Yeah.
Specifically play Zonalar. You'll be screaming.
Yeah. I put the PayPal in the description.
About for a sci-fi setting. The only part of this design that really took some iteration was figuring out exactly how much XP I wanted there to be per level. I think I might
You
have
don't need
started at around 8, and then tried 6, and then eventually landing on 4.
It's a crutch.
The other thing I changed around...
Okay, like all of this means nothing to me, because changing the number does not fix the design philosophy behind it. But he already committed to have linear progression in his role-playing game, which I guess that is the main choice, not the number it takes to progress. What do you guys think?
I'm against linear progression, but that's just me. I think that's more of a taste kind of thing. I prefer lateral progression, where you get XP and this allows you to buy different things from the same massive list that everyone has access to.
Yes.
So maybe like my character that is like a surgeon. So I put a lot of points in character creation in him being good at like stitching people up. But then when I'm traveling with the group, I figure out that, oh, we're fighting a lot of goblins, and last time one of them to me, right? And they got really spooked. So now I'm going to put some points into using a dagger. So now I can stab them if they get close, you know? Because now I can grow my character in a way that is diegetic to the setting. Instead of just,
Yeah.
you know, oh, now I'm a fighter 5 from fighter 5 to fighter 6. So I'm a better fighter. Like I don't even get a choice. It's just thing, you get XP, you level up. You don't even get a choice in it.
You get more hit points and more stab. But in a game like Shadowrun, you can choose to put the points into your pistol skill, or to put the points into knowledge about academia and universities, and like know more about all the different universities in your area, and be specialized to have better connections and reach out to the right people. And they're like on the same level on the playing field. They have stuff that skills that are specifically about knowledge are cheaper, so that the players are more incentivized to put some points in there, not feel like they're losing out on their combat capabilities. All right, let's continue.
Was originally XP was able to be spent on social or combat features. I quickly realised this would present something of an inter-player balance problem. Right, if you had spent your XP solely on combat features, it might mean that in social scenes and skill challenges,
I've become a
you're
wizard.
less useful, which feels a bit
died.
bad, and vice versa if you spent all your XP on social features.
Now, he says this is a problem. We say this is a feature of the game. And if the players, they see this as a problem when they want to beat every encounter they come across.
God forbid you want to play a character that is not good at combat. God
Yeah.
forbid you just want to be the surgeon that runs
You're
away from
jeopardizing
combat.
the whole team, man.
Why are you
Why are
holding
you-
us back,
He was
Frederick?
playing a pacifist character, ruined the whole party.
Why did you have to play a Lord Wizard? They're so fucking useless, man.
But
Say
we see
that,
how
you
that's
know,
like,
that gives
bro,
you insulation against the cold.
bro, when we were in session
In-
0, we agreed we were gonna go to the Lard dimension. Okay, I made my fat wizard for a reason.
Now,
You
look
guys.
This. I point to my side. There's like a pile of tubes of a jar, a jar's filled with lard and fat.
I'm ready.
What I'm gonna do with this? I've been carrying this all over.
But the adventure is called The Desert of Karas. And we zoom out, and like it's just desert everywhere.
Yes, I did eat some along the way because I got hungry, but there's still plenty left. Okay.
but you see how silly this is? Like, why would you? Like these people don't want to roleplay. These people just want you to do the appropriate damage per round. 5 characters. They can get to the adventure and save their princess and level up and get the cast new like higher level.
Right.
They're not
And
I want
roleplaying.
to say that, okay?
You become the tier.
The goblin cannot pick up a spear with greasy hands. It keeps slipping out of his hands. We do have an advantageous position. Okay?
But when you reach tier 2, you no longer fight the goblins, you fight the orcs with their spears. Now their spears
still have
keep slipping
hands.
out of their hands because you have tier 2 large spell ready to go.
The power of the lard is unmatched.
This analogy is getting out of hand, just like the spears.
Tier 3 is
No,
the
but
ogre.
for real, right?
The ogre wants to stab you with
I
the
am not
spear, but
working
now
on
you're
it.
tier 3 Lord Wizard, so you cast Lord Lake underneath him. He slips all the time.
Yeah.
My guy died.
But here's the thing, though, right? This is the exact thing that Zolar said, that you're trying to fix an issue with mechanics instead of philosophy, right? What you're doing here, right? And I'm assuming that what you're going to do is you're going to separate XP so they can get both social and combat XP or whatever.
Yeah, SXP
What I'm assuming
or
here,
CXP, something like that.
yeah.
That's-
What I'm assuming here is that you're trying to make a bridge between people that want just different games. Like, yeah, I know that you want to be like a cool socialite noble, but you should also spend points on like your crossbow fighter class so you can keep up on the fight.
Yes.
Then you go to the other player. Oh, I know that you just want a power game and then make like the broken paladin, but you also got to spend some points into being like a fruit merchant, right?
Yeah, eat your
What were you doing
social
here in
vegetables.
building this bridge? Yeah, what you're doing here in building this bridge is actually in detriment to both of these players, because these players want different experiences.
And it would be really
just separate
interesting
players.
to hear people play that and say what they think, because I want to see the table where you have all these players with their different, they want different things, but they still play out the game, and to watch are they having fun or are they just like gaslighting themselves at the table to not disappoint their friends?
I had fun.
I had fun, man.
Even in the instance of this meme, or like what he's trying to express, it's just like, why on God's green earth did this person get in this situation to begin with? And if this max intelligence guy got brought up against a monster and he can't defend himself, even in that crappy situation, it's like there's still something cool there. Like, I never planned for this. We're gonna see how this turns out. We can still explore that if you're still role playing, but we're not.
If you're role
Are
playing,
you
imagine
it's
role-playing
cool.
Are you even
scenario.
that smart if you put yourself in a situation where
Exactly.
you can't defend yourself? Like, I'm going to the dungeon and
Exactly.
I have a stick.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Like the
Like
first
you're
panel,
assassinated,
isn't I quickly realize I'm gonna die. It's like I quickly realize I'm in danger, and then coming up with
Hey.
your fucking Giga Brain 5D plan to take out this big monster.
It's in
approaching
first
you.
person. It's very, that's his turn. That's
It
his
is.
action. It's where he is. It's what he does.
This is how One Punch Man beats his first villain ever, Crabman, with the
Yeah.
big claws. Like, oh, I'm so powerful, I'm so strong. Like they keep making fun of me, but now he can like kill Buttface Kid, and he gets beaten up. One Punch Man's like, and he gets back up. He does the jump and pulls on the ice behind him, drags the whole spine and intestines out of Crab Guy. It's like,
Come on,
okay,
Husk.
it's fucking awesome. Holy shit! It's like that is awesome. But he was lame guy before, but then he did something cool.
Yep.
Having it so that
No
you
comment,
don't need
animation,
to
please.
sacrifice social to be combat focused or sacrifice combat to be social. Just make sure
If you have players at the table that don't want to be social, just want to be combat, that is a session 0 discussion. Guys, are we dungeon crawling or are we overland traveling and like city exploring too? Do we have politics and intrigue as well? And you kind of find out at the table what they're interested in exploring.
everyone's on the same playing field. The other thing that's quite nice about a value of 4 XP is it means that as a general rule of thumb, players could earn 1 XP per game session, and I think that would lead to pretty satisfying progression. In the early levels, 1 XP.
I'm like, this means nothing to me. I'm just being like, okay, I guess, like maybe, but how do you even know if it's satisfying? All you know is, oh, you get a level a month if you play 4 sessions in the month, which is, yeah, like that is pretty much how Area 1 else does it. Or you could just play a session and then level up, which some people do with D&D. 1 session, 1 level. That's how we do it. Because they're so fucking bored playing from level 1 to 5 like every year again, over and over again, because the GM gets burned out.
6 hours.
And like Conway said, like it feels. I've never been able to schizophrenically rationalize the feeling of a character brain blasting in the middle of an adventure and just having all these superpowers. Like I don't like what just happened.
Yeah, like we played 7 sessions of D&D, and we stayed level 3 until the very end. After the credits, there was a little pop-up that said, you leveled up for some of the characters.
Oh, that's so awful.
And you guys were laughing. You were laughing so hard.
In Pathfinder, they do have like an in-universe explanation as to why you're leveling up, but it's still just like a silly explanation.
Yeah,
and I don't find it interesting either.
It's a
But it's better than
flimsy
none,
diegetic explanation.
Yeah, funnily enough, the best system that I've seen this in before is the Witcher tabletop role-playing game. The Witcher tabletop role-playing game has a very interesting system where if you have the money, you can just sit in for like a few months and like level all your skills to max. That's super cool. Because now, like after you get a bunch of gold, you want to spend a diegetic way for you to be able to spend the treasure you have.
I enjoyed the...
Like awesome, in my opinion.
I really like when experience actually means what it says. It's experience. So everything you experience, you gain the points but then being encouraged, spend those points in the things you experienced. You know, like you got
The
hurt, you
real-
got stitched back up. You know, you had to like retrain, fix your bones. Like, yeah, I could put some points in my constitution,
Yeah.
in my fitness.
In that gory superhero draft that I made, Common Enemy, where you're playing like a monster man, you get experience points through killing, but eating the enemy's brains. So you're getting their experience, and integrating into you.
That's really cool. See,
Yeah.
and that's
I was about to say that
in the Witcher
real-
RPG. Oh, you go first.
the real experience are the friends we made along the way. That's all I had to say.
The Witcher RPG is rather similar to it's a D10 plus modifier system. It's very similar to Cyberpunk. And it's a pretty cool system, and that's one of the interesting things about it. Is that you can just you get very little XP. You do get some XP for just playing the game. The GM will give you XP, and you can use it to instantly buy an upgrade. But you get very little. So if you actually want to progress your character, you just need to get money, and you need to hire someone to teach you, or you need to spend a few months in the countryside, training with your sword.
There's also, we got a couple comments, Elf Hunter saying he went from level 1 to level 11 in 3.5 years. So how was level 11? Was it worth it? We will find out soon. And we got other comments as well of, this is much older. Daryl said, sometimes the onus is on the game master for the players to have the opportunity to do some activities outside of combat. And he saw little opportunity in the draw steal session, where the game master kept pushing into the next scene, the next scene, the next scene, the next scene. Pretty much as soon as the other scene was resolved, and he gave the players 2 minutes to talk in character and then push forward again.
That is an issue with both the actual module that they played and also the GM.
Yes.
Because the GM wanted to show the module to everyone watching the stream, right? There's that aspect of it too.
Yeah, the goal, that was definitely a goal in the back of the mind.
It's very egregious, exactly at the end of the game, where you get to town, you get down from the cart, you go to the house, you get to the woman tells you, the woman thanks you, the woman gives you a potion, and the woman tells you that you have a new trait or whatever.
Yeah.
That was very clearly pushing the players along.
You find 6 healing potions.
The town conveyor belt, just get all the check marks.
Also, the town is now from neutral to friendly towards you. It's what if we role-played that? That would have been cool. It's nope. Status updated.
Yeah. You get to the town, it's I'll write it this. Keep your hands inside the...
Yeah, please God, get on the belt and don't move.
Animatronic villager.
It's just the children,
it's Westworld everywhere.
the children are laughing and playing with ball. Ha 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 ha.
The boy's a pole, it goes up and down, left and right. Statically.
I gotta tell you about my other setting later.
More comments. Daryl.
Oh, that's a meta roleplay. So it's Westworld fantasy where you play a normal guy role-playing an adventure in a Westworld kind of situation.
But that's
You
cool.
role-play a role-player.
Memorprigger. There's an awesome book with that premise called Memorprigger. It's by Yahtzee, the guy that does Zero Punctuation. It's a really funny book.
No.
It was a single session, the ultimate 2D boss fight. We went Super Saiyan with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Elven Rings. They weren't elves. But anyway, I think I prefer level 6 in D&D 5e. So he reached level 11, was cool for a moment, but level 6 was just more fun. So nothing was gained, levels were gained, but the enjoyment of the game does not increase with the level of the player characters. And that is the key element that game designers have to remember if they design games.
It's almost like the roleplay is the interesting aspect of a role-playing game, right?
That's what we're saying.
With a thumb.
Exactly. We're not even beating about around the bush, guys. That's literally it. Yeah, it was fun for what it was. Yeah, we believe you. It's okay. You don't have to let the Stockholm Syndrome get you. It's fine.
We all have that one show that we know is trash, and we still.
It was
Exactly.
fine. I enjoyed all 5 seasons. Daryl Arrett said,
Let's continue the video.
I just
Oh,
spent
sorry.
6 months in the desert and I can swim better? Question mark. The interlock system. Yeah. Improvements that make absolutely no sense when you level up to what you've been doing. Like, I know Kung Fu. Like, well, you weren't part of any melee fights at all for the last 3 months. But I guess so.
It might be unlocking a whole new feature, whereas in the later levels, you might have to wait a few sessions before you can unlock your big new features. Perhaps one of the most complicated parts of the class system is the way initial features work. So why have I done it like this? The initial features are probably the hardest feature of the class to design. The reason that they're so tricky is because they need to not be too powerful, otherwise multi-classing becomes way too strong. Right, if everything's
Okay, I thought multi-classing is not a problem, but apparently he is designing the system with multi-classing as an option that people can choose, is what I'm getting here.
Look, based on video games, how it usually goes, right?
Yeah.
Conceptually, you can do something cool, then like, oh wait, if you get this feat and this other feat, you completely break the game. So then the dev goes and like changes class Y, but now
Yeah.
class Y is stupid. You cannot play it anymore. But it's the only way to fix the possible thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of, you end up watering down the game so much that it becomes boring.
It loses.
Because here's the thing, here's the
distinction
thing.
it had before.
The Chad player will always find a way to break the Virgin Devs game, you know? That's a constant.
You have a deadline for the game you're making. Like you have a limited amount of time to finish a game, and the player has infinite time. And it's not just one player; it's a ton of players. The players will always outnumber the devs, probably like hundreds to one, a lot more actually for bigger games.
As a role player, I had a horrible time with Pathfinder Kingmaker. When I created a character that I'm like, oh, I'm a halfling druid, fey druid, that really
Why?
it is really aligned with nature. And then it's the computer game is what I'm talking about, not the
No, I know,
module.
but such a okay.
And I was really trying to stay in character with everything I do, is I build my own kingdom. And at some point I realized like none of the choices they give me make sense for my character. And the illusion was broken.
Shattered into a million pieces.
Also my character just wasn't that strong. That like kept losing combat battles because I'm not thinking like a Pathfinder nerd trying to win. I'm thinking like a role player trying to immerse myself. It's like, this is stupid. It's like, no, it does the thing it wanted to do, but it's not what I want. Which means it's stupid, and I'm right.
really front-loaded.
Yeah, and I mean,
You
like, do you want balance? Right? Are the stories we tell about balance? Is every single movie like have the correct CR so that the guys can always get away with it? That is just not the
Yeah.
case.
I just like
If
balance.
you
I like balance.
yeah, think about it. If everyone is balanced, then nothing is interesting. Everyone it's literally flopifying, right?
Yeah.
You're not fighting a dragon. You're fighting a bag of hit points that has the correct amount of damage per round to fight you, so that it's actually a balanced encounter.
That is
I hate balance.
Yeah, that's the
Balance
example.
breaks my idea of a world.
Yeah.
Cantrip
Like,
is Go ahead.
I was just gonna add that my favorite example of screw balance is in like a rune quest with the god of death. Like if you're initiated to the god of death, it's like, oh, I have soul sever. Soul sever does exactly what it says. I pick a dude. I have a pretty good chance of just outright killing him and sending him to hell. Like it's just over. Like I can only do it like once a month, but I can still do it. Like no matter how big he is.
And that's a problem with, oh yeah, like a cantrip, firebolt, level 1, you have magic missile, at level 5, you have the fireball, level 7, you have fucking blizzard or some shit, and you just keep, now you have a wall of fire. It's like, okay, it's not more interesting, okay? It doesn't make, it gives the player more choice to roleplay with, of having those cool scenarios where he can do a spell that changes the whole battlefield. But if it's interesting when they roleplay it and when they're immersed in a moment of this massive wall of fire erupting out of the ground, covering.
Yeah. I want you to tell me how he's doing that. I want you to tell me exactly like what is, you know, in the world, what is going on. How'd you even learn that? You know, that's what's interesting to me. It's scary in the moment. I'm going to run the hell away, but I want to know what. I'm interested now.
Think about it this way, right? At level 1, you deal 1d6 damage, and the enemies have 2d6 health. At level 2, you deal 2d6 damage, and the enemies have 3d6 health. At level 3, you deal 3d6 damage, and the enemies have 4d6 health. What changed? It's a fucking conveyor belt.
It's all a lie.
You deal more damage, and the enemies have more hit. Nothing fucking changed. They're just in a conveyor belt. It's all make pretend.
The RPG arms race. It's like, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You get stronger, they get stronger.
You're just playing Oblivion. You reach level 13, go back into town with the rats. The rats are level 13. Look at those muscles. They're gonna eat you up.
Yeah, Oblivion is an awesome example because universe breaks. Like at first, the
That's
bandits are
a
trying to
good
hit you with like iron daggers and hide armor. And then like level 50, the bandits are all wearing Daedric enchanted armor from hell. Yeah.
Those Oblivion beats are crazy.
To be fair, you have been selling like Daedric artifacts to like the cheesemonger, you know. So the goods have been going around. Okay, if anything, you've made that. You're responsible.
Daryl Errett, the Reddit RPG design group, now preaches the unimportance of balance. It's always the newcomer designers that think balance is a necessity. Oh, that is very interesting. That people
right twice a day.
Are people on Reddit actually updating their beliefs? This is news to me.
Inconceivable.
They do if someone like a celebrity they like spoil the idea.
My God, you are so correct. Definitely, you need. It's. Oh, which
And Mercer
animal?
said so.
There's an
So it's
animal.
cool now. Let's go.
Was it a duck or a different animal? They see the animal in front of them and they follow it, but they all follow themselves like in a row. So if you
Lemmings.
turn one into a circle, now they're all stuck in a circle because they never update. You know, they're just walking in a circle until they all starve to death. That's a
munching on
literal
there, man.
phenomenon. I just forget which animal it was. That
Lemmings are the mean one. They jump off a cliff. They all jump off the cliff.
yeah, Lemmings are classic.
What you munching on there, man? Can I see them chips, man?
I'm sorry,
Can
my
show me.
wife is
Man, it's
crunching
okay.
around.
Can I
super
get some
loudly.
chips?
man.
Can I borrow some chips?
It's role playing.
It's
Oh, get a
upcoming.
wizard borrow a chip. Is the wizard gonna give it back?
No hard RD. Come on.
Okay.
End up with the problem that dipping classes is really, really strong. At the same time, you want to make sure that your initial features are meaningful, right? That they aren't boring. And I did want to have multi-classing in the game because, again, it just multiplies the degree of customizability and the options.
No, wait, no, actually, you're wrong because you said you wanted customization and options. And now you say customization and options are a bad thing in multi-classing, but not in the other design. So you're, and I'm sorry to point this out but if you're designing as a game designer, your game philosophy needs to stay consistent while you are designing. So you have to choose one or the other. If you try to do both, your designs are going to be inefficient. Give me some backup, guys. Am I wrong?
I'm sorry, I'm still ruminating on the previous bit.
I can go back a bit
No,
and listen
okay.
to him.
He's
I
stuck
want-
in character.
No, I mean the joke. I'm
A true
still
role player.
cracking up.
Oh, the joke. Okay.
I'm still laughing.
Meaningful, right? That they aren't boring. And I did want to have multi-classing in the game because, again, it just multiplies the degree of customizability and the options.
Yeah, you said that's a good
I
thing.
wanted the initial feature set to be free because
Oh my God,
it
yeah,
doesn't
pause.
really make sense to spend.
Yes, so it is exactly what I said. I think that you can play infinite characters, and this guy has limited it to 1,300 different options that you can play your character as. And it is exactly what we said is happening. You are creating a mental prison for yourself. all of
Yes.
these limitations that you're putting into yourself, these are all like you're like riding yourself down a rabbit hole, mechanics and rules. Just let the players like pick their skills. Let the players have enough control over the system so that they can represent a character, and that's it. You don't need to overthink this, to overanalyze all of these different options. But you might say, I'm a game designer. Overanalyzing it is perhaps what I do. In which case, I think you're approaching this from the wrong philosophical standpoint. The standpoint where the mechanics will fix the players instead of just fixing the players themselves. Instead of fixing like the ruptured wheel on your car, you're putting like this oversized like wooden like wheel on it, like right on top of the the hood. It's not gonna help.
That very much so. The designer wants to solve the problem by designing a better game. The writer wants to solve the table by writing a better adventure. The storyteller is trying to have more fun for the other players by telling a cooler story. None of them solves the issues that your players suck, man. They don't want the same thing that you want out of the experience. They're just sitting down to roll dice, roll natural 20s, park jump at the camera, and be like, well, what's gonna happen next? Tell us, Game Master. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. You tell me what happens next, okay? Why don't you tell me what's gonna happen next? And I get to enjoy how it plays out. All the burden is on the Game Master.
You're even bargaining with different players. Yeah, you're even bargaining with the other players.
Yeah.
Because now you can say, okay, if you like fighting, then you have XP for your fighting class. And if you like social, XP for. So you're literally bargaining between two types of players that don't want the same thing.
Indeed. And it might be, some people might think that we are here just saying, oh, you guys, you just want social class then? You don't want the combat class? Which, not really.
I'm even giving you double XP during the holidays because I have no friends and you guys go do your own thing. I'm alone, so I give double XP, guys. Come on, come to my house.
Please play my game. Please play my game. Please play my game. I'll make a story for you. Please play my game. You don't need that. Get players that are actually constructive that will help you. They will be the ones carrying you through an adventure. We are of the firm belief that the GM is the more passive player at the table.
If you want a game
like
that
a
is
Buddha.
telling a story and have a linear storyline for the players to experience and go through, I guess you can, but then you accept all the burden upon yourself as a game master. And I did this at the start, and through experience I learned this is too much work. I enjoy it when the players have fun, and then I realize I'm like spending way too much money. I'm like burning the candle on both ends, running the game this way every week for the players. And when I stop, the players will stop enjoying it, so I'm forced to continue. I'm trapped in this loop that will never stop until I choose that enough is enough or break down. And I think that this is why people say like, oh, we don't have enough game masters in the TTRPG hobby. Yeah, that's the reason why. They never update the philosophy of how to run games.
My brother in Christ, you realize that your game master is selecting, writing. He is preparing custom stat sheets. You asked him to make a home class for you. Like, no wonder you don't have a fucking game master. Usually, you would pay a full salary for one if you expect that much work.
He could have just made a game and published it and make like for $5 and made probably like a few thousand of that over the next couple of years or something like that.
I don't know, man. The women I keep chaining up in my basement, they keep running away, man. I have to get a new one every time.
Don't worry. I
I
run
give them,
Vampire
like-
the
I give
Masquerade
them, like,
at
a
home.
bowl of
Join
milk.
me. Join me in my basement. You're gonna play Vampire. Hello, Vampire.
Talking about Vampire, I think Vampire is a good example about it has classes. You can call them clans. All of the WoD games have their classes. Clans, tribes, whatever. And I think they have archetypes, right? Even they have vampire archetypes and what have you. And I think those games still fulfill that while not constraining the character. as as discussed.
Talking about bloodsuckers. Anyways,
Yeah, it's
No,
narrower.
why?
It's narrower because you're always playing vampires, right? That's pretty cool. It's what we talked about, like using the right tool, right? Make an RPG just so you can play. Right? This is why we pushed against the idea of GURPS or it being just generic.
Yeah,
Like make a system that is hyper focused on what you want to do.
and even within all the WoD games, I don't actively play them anymore or anything like that, but they still leave it open, like extremely open. You talk about Bloodsuckers, that's a good example of it, where you can dive. That was the name of.
Oh,
Spaces.
that's also a game. Yes, it's not just a joke. It's also a game.
Blood
That was
Junkies.
Spaces.
Blood Junkies.
Blood Junkies, that's what it was. Blood Junkies is a good example of you can completely gut the meta plot that WoD is known for, and you still have a very good, if not better, game
Yes.
there for playing vampires and all of the archetypical vampires therein. Like you can have your in-world archetypes and your cake too. Like it doesn't. You can still roleplay and still have archetypes.
Indeed.
Your initial XP unlocking something that theoretically you should be anyway, right? Before the campaign starts, you are a farmer or you are a diplomat or something.
Okay.
Having to spend some of your XP to become that thing seems a little bit weird narratively.
Why?
But obviously, the initial features can't be free forever, because then you would just take the initial feature set of every single class, which is nonsense.
Isn't that
I landed on a value of
one
2
line
XP.
of a sentence fix that? You cannot do this. Like that.
All you say is pick one.
I don't get it.
Or if it's a
Okay,
Like-
if
Because here's the beauty. Like you don't need to like code 15 lines in Java or whatever. You can just say you cannot do that, and it's done.
And I would also
I
just
don't
say
get it. I
it's
don't
been
get it.
solved by so many games, like Shadowrun solved this, The Dark Eye solved this, old
5e solved it.
games. 5e does it differently. What I'm talking about is you start with, I don't know, 20 points, 100 points, 1,000 points, and the class you pick costs 10 points, and that gives you like 5 different skills, 5 different knowledge stuffs that you can like mix and match, and the other points you can spend on more skills or making your attributes better, like more strength, more constitution, more intelligence, and you already solved it. It's not free, and making things free is not logical. So you have to really what's the word? Look back and why you think that making things free is the logical conclusion here. Because the cost is already implied by picking one class, one combat class, and one social class, because the cost is all the other options that you are discarding.
Yeah, and I mean, think about this for a second, right? Let's say that he does indeed write it as being free. Did you notice the first thing that leapt to his mind? It was a player grabbing literally all of them. So I'm a diplomat farmer. I'm also a knight. Also spent some time as a surgeon. Like, why would you play with someone like that? Don't you want to roleplay?
That's
Like,
a
are you really
player-
gonna invite
player issue.
the player that shows up and I'm literally everything? Give me all the features. I'm stronger than fuck you. Why would you play with a player like that?
Get out of my house.
Out.
It's the
Well,
people
he's
that
designing
show
a
up to
game
my
for,
games, like they show
for
up to
mass
D&D
appeal, I
and they
think.
ask me, well, can I multi-class in our D&D game, Lich's Dragons, to say, get the fuck off my, they call them out. It's like, we can talk about some rules, but when we talk about multi-classing, I know almost like 9 times out of 10, they want to build a super strong build to that is strong in combat instead of a cool character idea. And most character ideas are solved by classes that are already in 5e because they have so many extra rulebooks. And nobody asked me anyways because they had strong character concepts and we had playing monsters as the main feature.
Sonar begged me like thrice. Please use the backgrounds provided by like Diavolo's Menagerie. I forgot the name of the thing.
Oh yeah,
And I said
true.
no. I didn't even like made a backpack. I was just like, oh, I have like a dagger and like a dead rat. Like it's like I did not even like get the system's minimum.
You did
and I had
not
a
want
blast.
to roll the tables for how many siblings you have, or if you even know your mother and father, or were you born in the crib, or in the church, or at home, or in the fields.
I am above.
There were like so many things that like, oh, fun table to roll. And it's like, I don't need this. My mind is my only limitation.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I just did not need it.
Roleplay solves everything, that I've heard.
For your later classes, if you did choose to multi-class, because they are roughly equivalent strength to getting a subclass, right? You get a whole new sort of feature set direction. The other thing that's nice about having the initial features cost 0 at the beginning is it allows you to theoretically play at level 0, right? You would still have your initial features and proficiencies, so you could still do stuff.
I have to.
He's talking numbers.
My head
I cannot
hurts.
follow anymore.
Who the fuck cares if you start at level 0 or level 1?
Some people do, Zonar. There are people out there. There are Homo sapiens. There are creatures, humanoids out there.
So what? But what is the literal difference in the universe? Is level 0 you're subhuman, and level 1 now you're self-actualized? What the fuck does this mean, and why do you care? This is completely, and I don't mean to. I'm. If you think I mean, I will accept this criticism. But this is such like war game brained, man. You're not thinking like this is a role-playing game anymore. This is not a role-playing game argument.
Yeah. I'm not playing Chicken Bones, the troubled half-orc smith trying to bridge the gap between orcs and humans. No. I am playing a level 3 battle master half-orc. That's it. That's all some people do is play that. I'm a level 2 fighter. Level 2 dwarf rogue.
In like pulp culture too, like you always like hear like the meme of like, oh, I'm a level 11 lawyer. Like, so we're now reintroducing that because we have social classes. I'm a level 11 noble. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's literally, oh, I'm not just noble, I'm a tier 3 noble. In this case, I assume.
Noble deluxe.
Tier 3 noble diplomat, but I'm
I've
also
leveled
a
up
tier
to
4
king.
fighter crossbowman.
Yeah, I went from the knight to the king, to the baron to the king, something like that.
That's one of the reasons I dislike games where, like, you see that a lot, and there may be some other reasons that I don't know, but you see actual plays out there, and like, before the session starts, like, I am Roderick, and I am playing the Elandril, the elven wizard of, like, just let me figure your character out as you play. It's much more interesting to me as a viewer to piece out what you are by how you act, how you speak, like your choices. That's how books do. That's how movies do it.
Here is a much
also,
more...
can I just say,
Go ahead.
There is nothing wrong with making a war game. There's literally nothing wrong with playing or making war games. Just don't call them role-playing games. Because I assume that we're going to role-play if we're role-playing in a role-playing game.
Also, it makes me angry.
I'm not taking this personal from the Verve that they call it a tabletop role-playing game. Because I realized tabletop role-playing game is a marketing term used by the biggest fucking company that is like suffocating this whole industry, like Wizards of the Coast, as they die on their own farts, shitting all over themselves. It's still the biggest horse in the race for some stupid reason. But it's a marketing term. So if you want people to play this tabletop role-playing game, level 0, level 1, or experience points, or social classes, they are all superfluous to achieving roleplay. In the role-playing game, those are all philosophical differences. Now, he might watch this 2-hour review of us talking and say, oh, I understand, I just don't give a shit about role-playing at my table. At which case, good on you. At least you know why you're building the system. Yeah. And of course, this is a good faith discussion for people who want to engage with the ideas and give feedback to his game. And so I found the idea of talking about social class interesting enough to make a stream about it.
And all you have to do is sit through 2 hours of us ruminating to get to this point.
It is the EFAP way of doing things.
But
The
you aren't
effect.
necessarily as strong and don't have any attack modifiers and such things. I haven't actually tried playing at level 0, but I imagine it would work. I don't see why it wouldn't. As much fun as
It works when you're role-playing. If you're not role-playing, you just kind of feel lame because you have much more chances of failing all the time you roll dice. And if you're like playing with a war game mindset, that's what happens all the time.
multi-classing is, though, it does risk becoming overpowered very quickly.
Yes.
As I say, there are thousands and thousands of different combinations when you start factoring in multi-classing. It might even get to the millions, I haven't done the maths. And as a single designer, I can't possibly consider every single combination of abilities to make sure that nothing is...
We don't even have to mention this, but we will for the viewer's sake. That he is concerned about balancing the game. Just to reiterate, we don't give a shit about balance in our games, because when people roleplay, it's super fun that the level 12 fighter fights alongside the level 3 cleric and the level 1 farmer diplomat or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't even see an issue with having all these things be free. Like, here you go, you're a role player. I believe in you. You're a good player.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and grab whatever you want? Represent your character as best as you can. Because if you're playing with someone you can trust, if you're playing at a high trust table, then you can totally do that. Because the people want the same thing out of the game that you do.
Do you?
Yeah, it's the same mentality as like, this is the setting that we've agreed upon. I'm trusting the GM to portray this setting.
Yes.
Likewise, I trust the other players to portray the character they pitch to me. It goes both ways. It's like, you're not special. You have the same expectations as a participant.
This is a very interesting side note on game design when I talked with Nicholas about a Terror RPG, of rephrasing some stuff in his book, because if he ever plans to publish it on drive-thru or anything, like, I'm pushing for him, like, okay, if you're spending all this time, like, make it in a way that you can publish it and make like $20 at least. And Nicholas can say, if he can confirm or deny live on stream that wanting to create the rules in a way that it's suited for a high trust table, not to like please the masses.
Midwits! Brainlets! I'm joking.
of people that are playing with people that are just like, do not understand what the strength of a role-playing game is and want to take advantage of the system all the time.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I take to heart when you give when I give like phrasing suggestions, because language is the medium, right, that we use to play.
Yes.
And it has a big difference, makes a big difference.
And it's good game design if you can close the loopholes that for players to abuse the role. So the game designer, yes, that's your goal, but as a game master that runs the games for people, it is a philosophical problem of making sure those players don't show up at your table, and if they do, that you tell them with no uncertain terms, do not abuse my trust, or you will be punished.
Heavily.
outrageously broken. For that reason, multi-classing needs to have an associated cost, and 2 XP feels about right for that.
Oh, you can multi-class.
So I think that's more or less everything that went into the design of the classes and subclasses and the class structure. Hopefully you found that interesting. There are a couple little bits that I want to throw in at the end. One of them is, you may have noticed that there aren't any feats. I did really consider adding feats to the game, and I may still do it. But in that spirit of questioning everything, I don't want to add anything until I'm really confident that it's part of the core vision of the game. And
Okay.
there is probably enough character
I can respect
customization
that.
with class and social class interaction. That being said, there are several ideas I have for feat, which are abilities that don't really fit under a class header, but I would still like to be in the game. So I might add them at a later stage. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you didn't see at the end of the class video, I have released an alpha document for the Verve. If you're interested, it will be linked in the description for you to check out. I will note it does only have one social and combat class fully explained in the document. I will hopefully be adding more over the next few weeks, and when I've caught up with the number of class videos that I have released, I will be uploading a new one every time I do one of
Very
those
cool.
videos.
All right, 20 more
Let's
seconds.
take a look at the document, man.
We can.
This is the premier time to playtest this game because he only has 1 of 1, so we all play the exact same character. Therefore,
We get to roleplay.
therefore, we can really express how much you can play with 1 and 1.
Great.
Oh, the
let's
setting, that's
take a
cool.
look.
I want to hear about the setting.
It's been 2 hours, 20 minutes. You guys are ready to go a bit longer and look at the PDF? I didn't
I'm
ask you
down.
guys how much time you have. I just started, you know.
I will take a
No, look.
bathroom break though.
Okay, go ahead. No
For my
worries.
You need
brothers.
to wash yourself. You need to wash yourself, man. I can see the lard in your lips from here.
Wash your penis, Lord Wizard.
Does it look like I have things to do, man? I'm just chilling at the tower here. It's nice.
Like using come here magical book, float and open your page in the PDF. We can also look at a couple questions real quick as well before we start. You can have 2 identical character sheets and still make 2 totally different characters with different mannerisms, backgrounds, and goals. Yes, we agree with you.
Exactly.
Your
The example that I gave of the paladin on the road, right?
Yeah.
They don't need to be a paladin on the road. Any character could have acted in that particular scenario, like Dom said.
It would be so cool to play a rogue that swears an oath as well.
Oh, it feels good thinking about it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool? Okay, how about this, right? I'm going to pitch something crazy to you guys. What if we make a challenge where we all show up with the exact same character sheet, but we play different characters with the exact same character sheet?
The same stats?
And we don't even tell anyone. We just play a game. Yeah, same stats, same class, same everything. We play through a whole game and we never even tell anyone.
Oh, hell yeah.
What system would you prefer for that? We can do it with Shadowrun. We can do it with Pathfinder. We can do it with D&D. I don't want to do it with ECD6 because it seems like it's already built in. as
Everyone
part of
already
the
does
fun.
that in ECD6.
You also
Yeah.
don't want to do it in ECD6. What about? I mean, Warhammer is kind of fun for
5e.
that.
I'm going to say 5e because everyone knows 5e. And we
Yeah,
point
true.
out that one time we role played the same character sheet in 5e, and we can barely even notice that we're all using the same.
We are all human knights, like from the trailer of that one Elder Scroll game. It's all of us,
He is literally me.
literally. It's the meme of we are all playing dwarves, dwarf masons, and we run around building walls to defeat the elves or the goblins. Like, I'm just building a new bridge here. Yeah, let's go, boys. Let's build a bridge.
Yeah, human fighter would be the easiest way. Like doing hard mode would be doing some kind of magical class because we then have the exact same spells. So like role playing that and describing what the magic looks like would be a bit more difficult for each of us, but it'd be cool all the same.
I definitely want the exact same thing. So it's the same background too, and do you want to pick like the same flaws and the same goals for the characters or no?
No one even plays with that anymore. The characters don't even like. If you tell a player to, they won't even let in.
I
no one-
I write them down just so I have at least one like black on white.
Yeah.
But I don't need them. You know, I moved on way long from needing them.
Yeah, we're always like playing level 1 human fighters with like the soldier background, but we all
Yeah.
had different experiences in the world, right? That'd be really cool, actually.
Even the social background is like you can be the cook or you were the scout, you were the officer. With like rolling the 1d8 or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember that. Yeah.
You're but a drop of water in the ocean. You want to be a cup of water in the ocean? Fine. says Erit. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I agree. Oh, the multi-classing, like you got like a billion options, but you can have 3 of them combined. And then it breaks my game as soon as you do that. But I might add feats to the system as well.
Come back, boys.
There we go. Yeah,
That was a quick ass shower, wizard.
you cramped that
Oh
one
wait,
out.
I forgot my water, man. Yeah, sorry. I need my water.
I need my
Talking
lord.
about my lord. Talking about feats, and the feats also reminded me at the end where he's like that. It's like
Come on,
his
man.
his last line about feats was like, I might add feats for those things that don't fall in the existing classes, and I'm like, you've hypothetically 14,000 possible outcomes, and there's still going to be gray area there. Like, okay,
It must literally
that's a
be
lot.
like the two-handed fighter or the double dagger wielding rogue that wants to be good but with 2 weapons instead of 1 weapon. Or
The Lord Mancer.
yeah, the Lord Mancer. What about the shuriken throwing ninja? What about them? Well, it's because your systems are too specific.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you're only limited to 1,000 options instead of the infinity of the imagination. Which is a fucking tough sell to game developers, I'm telling you. Like, designers, they hate that. Mostly because they
You
sit
need
down
to
with
curb
players.
stomp their imagination.
Yeah. The
Pressure
fucking
their brains against the wall. They will follow your classes.
the game design, he plays with players, the players are shit, and he thinks I can solve this problem by homebrewing my own shit into the game to make them roleplay.
All I have
I
to
don't
do
know,
is
I feel
write
like
a
we're
700
coming
page
off-
book.
I feel like we're coming off too much douchebags here. If you got here, okay, guy, Verveman, Vervelord, Vervmus. If you got here, you're cool, man.
You're cool.
I like your videos. I am legit interested in your game, even though it might not match my style of play. Just on a creative standpoint and out of pure respect for the grind.
Indeed.
you know?
The grind. What are we looking for? Ability score, stamina, morale limit. Okay. Solving dice. We don't need any of that. I just want the
Typical
classes.
play. Check that out. What does
Where,
that
where
mean?
am I going? Where is
Typical
it?
play.
I
Typical
cannot see.
play.
Ah,
4.
4?
General rules. 4.
Oh, you want to see that?
No. Oh, man.
Oh,
There,
typical
yeah,
play,
like-
page 9. Got it. And this is free, so I would be worried of like, can I show a whole rulebook on stream? But nobody gets
No.
punished.
I mean,
it's
he
alpha
made it
and he
free,
published
yeah.
it, so
This is free.
It
thank
is
you,
alpha.
and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to look at your work and give some feedback. It's a lot of people, they keep their own works close to their chest because they don't want their hearts broken. Somebody calling it stupid. And that's not my goal here. The conductor's role is to act as the player's guide through the story or world that is being played. This primarily means to prepare the scenes, describe each situation, and respond to the player's actions. I can zoom in a little bit for you guys so it's like bigger on
That's
screen.
preferable. That's too much.
How is this? Is this like pretty good for
Yeah,
people
it's
on
good.
stream and stuff?
Yes. I mean,
You want me to read that or just have it on screen?
I don't know. What is the appropriate for streaming? I'm no streamer.
I thought of checking out the specific classes that he has for both social and
Oh,
combat.
let's do that.
Okay, I'm zooming out.
Well, let's check out the typical play. Let's check out the typical play and see how he sees this game as being played,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Okay,
important
we
point.
can do.
I was going to
4.1
mention
and-
something there, but he said
Yeah.
story or world. So okay, I mean, it's still. I'm still on the edge, but the
Yeah.
world kind of, fine.
That's what we mean when we say.
All right, so let me
Yeah.
read typical play real quick, right? It is the conductor's role to act as the player's guide through the story or world that is being. This primarily means to prepare the scenes, describe each situation, and respond to the player actions. So preparing the scenes is
Yeah,
an
preparing
interesting.
the scene is it's a little bit of a thorn, so to say.
But reacting to players, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. we're all reacting to each other, right, in a table.
Yes.
The conductor may call upon game rules to help determine the outcome of actions or to inform a character may respond. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how he said may call upon. So does that mean that as a
Yeah, he makes
DM
a
I can
choice.
overrule it? Like, oh no, this just makes sense. I'll go with it. So
It's pretty
that
cool.
was interesting.
I agree that is a there is a grammatical mistake there. It should be inform how a character may respond, not how an character. Regardless, right? I'm
It's
just pointing
more-
this out, not to be an asshole, but because it's the start of the. You're still finishing this document, right? So I genuinely hope this helps.
Yeah.
DCs for skill rolls should be communicated to the players before they roll. This is because difficulty of a task is something the player characters would have awareness of.
Okay.
If the characters would not know the difficulty, then the DC can be kept secret. That is interesting.
I like how he explains that. You see, this is what I need more books to do. Like, explain me the logic of why this rule is there. So when I run it, I can roleplay the world. I can make it. I can weave sense into it. You know.
Exactly.
It's also very clean cut. He doesn't dwell on it. It's right there.
How hard is it to climb this city wall? And you have an idea, like your character looks at the wall and he has an idea if this is like easy, hard, if it's like fucking covered in lard, or if the bricks are sticking out, there are vines everywhere.
Big old dupes.
Wouldn't it be better to have a roll low? Because then the players, let's say that you need to roll below a 20 and you have a 16 dexterity. So okay, I have like a 16 and 20 chance of, yeah. Because what I see this is adding an extra step to rolling, right? So as the GM, you're already like thinking of a lot of things, and now you need to think: would they know how hard this is? Should I tell them the DC? Right? I would prefer if the system automatized that and allowed the GM to have of his mind power to actually run the game, right? That is my only worry. My only worry is that it adds like for the GM. Regardless, let us continue. Unless someone has an opinion on what I just said.
Yeah, I think that is a bit more in the range of taste, because like, hey, if you played already like 5 years of D&D, you're like, oh yeah, like I just roll DC 15 or DC 18, DC 10, and then having to change your
beat.
Yeah. And then when you then change the way your systems work fundamentally, it adds an extra step of, I have to relearn how to ride the bicycle when I roleplay. So, I'm like, every time you make a change, you lose what people know in the hobby a little bit, which makes it adds more friction to start playing a game.
Yeah, that was my worry for it a little bit. I don't think it's bad, but yeah, it's more of a matter of choice.
Yeah,
I would think that if you do like a roll under system, then this automatically is in play, right? Okay, let's continue. So the conductor should also specify if the action is made with ease or difficulty, and this is capital E ease and capital D, right?
Mechanics, probably.
Yeah, before the roll is made. Similarly, any decisions about exerting effort should be decided before the dice are rolled. Effort is another capitalization, so it's another mechanic.
I like that. Ease.
There's a lot of things where you
difficulty
just roll the
is
dice.
pretty cool as a way to modify how you can do the thing. Like, there's the wall to
next
climb.
paragraph though. The next bit. Read the next bit.
Players should be encouraged.
Players should be encouraged to embody their character in the action, thinking
No
about
way.
how their character may approach the problem slightly differently to how the player might. Wow, that's awesome. That's exactly what we said.
Hey, boys, we did it. We got roleplay going on. It's in the rules. Oh, fantastic.
Can we do Control F and see if there's role somewhere?
I want to
That
get rid of
Flame
that.
Zombie did yesterday.
I want to get rid of that slightly in that paragraph, but I agree.
There's 2 roleplay in this book.
Oh, it's right below the thing we just read as well. Right, so since we have a modifier, and then we also have ease or difficulty, and we also have effort.
Shopping can be roleplayed as well, by the way. That's the other roleplay.
No.
It can be.
Yeah,
do it.
like fun situations like shopping.
Shopping can be roleplayed if you want to spend 5 minutes trying to get a 10% discount on
That's
arrows.
like, Yeah, that's like teenage girl gameplay. Let's go shopping.
Man, I love the shopping scene you did with the goblin though. It was amazing.
Oh, okay. I was.
You
our
were
5e
like
game.
stun
Yeah.
locked. What shopping scene?
I was thinking like, is this a bit? Will I play into the bit, or is it a real situation? Because I was ready to make a joke. Okay.
I hated it. Yeah, it was horrible. I'm sorry. Zooming in and out here just to see more.
Do you want me
pictures.
to read? Yeah. Let me.
I
read
don't.
for
I don't
you,
know.
just
Like
the whole,
conversations. What do we? When the play, I'm gonna do this one. When the players' characters are attempting to persuade, intimidate, or otherwise, and the outcome is not easily determined in roleplay, the conductor may ask for a skill roll. Such actions are referred to as statements. They're referred to as statements. I'm telling you here, remove like coded language that is unique to your own game. Just use the same one that everybody else does. Like, this is just an action. No, like everybody else calls this an action. Why is this a statement in this game?
Yeah, you've taken the
okay.
time to make
He might
social.
explain. I think he explains it a bit.
Okay.
He does.
Yeah, he.
There are four
but
different ways
this
to
is
make
like
the statements.
But the sticking point for me was that you've gone through the effort of already separating the classes, so we already know what a social action or a combat action is.
Yeah.
But now there's this other layer. But it's not like those two things are going to infect each other, the social and the combat, because you've already separated them.
Oh,
So
wait.
what are we doing?
Oh wait, I was thinking here. I think that. Oh, okay. So it's a statement.
Oh my god, that
Because
is.
it's a statement maybe because anything else that the player says is just like out of character talk, so it doesn't count as a statement as a thing in the world. I think that's why he coded in such a way.
Like you
I could be
role play
wrong.
your
Okay.
character, and if you don't get the immediate outcome of that makes sense, go on in.
Yeah.
Then it's okay. I make my statement roll. It's either delicate, charming, reasoned, or forceful statement that my character is making, which changes the
Okay.
way you roll the dice and what you're using as a modifier.
This is awful. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. This is awful.
Denied.
Like,
Thrown
you are just overly gamifying just a conversation, right? So now the GM's like, oh, is he like delicate? You know, man, this is I would not want to play this. This is. Have you guys ever played Oblivion with that stupid?
No.
That stupid
The
NPC.
wheel mini
The
game?
wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
They keep
Every
doing
time you want the
autistic
charming
faces at
NPC,
you, yeah.
Faces.
Yeah.
Have
Hey
fun.
GM, I'm gonna use two delicate actions and I'm gonna use a charming action.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
You're doing combos.
So
yeah,
after
yeah.
player role plays or describes their manner of speak, it's manner with double N and an E. It's not a house of speaking, and that's totally fine. Like just for you. This is not for anyone else. Manner of speaking. They, in collaboration with the conductor, shall determine which style best represents their approach. Now
It might take some time every turn, right?
Yes.
Like just.
now this is a big
is
problem.
this charming?
Yeah,
This is not a character conversation 100% of the time, right?
we have now
So
officially breached the universe to break the sky and talk to the floating heads of, was this conversation forceful or delicate?
Yeah.
The better approach is the player decides which statement fits best the way he role
It's
plays.
like an HR training video, right? Like
Yes.
it's just now. Did Mike, was he charming, delicate, forceful?
It's like who's gonna be a millionaire? Like 1, forceful, 2, charming, 3, delicate, and the music plays in the background. Do you want to call the game master to the side?
Pick the wrong one, you get a penalty to do the roll. Then we make fun of you.
Yeah, you roll with difficulty. I kind of want to go into the tavern, It's like
Not beating the bully allegations. For real.
the 4 wizards show up to bully the shit out of the game designer. Please note, although the delicate style is most appropriate to most lies, as you are trying to not arouse suspicion in the listener, one can lie with any of the 4 styles. See table below. It's like, it's okay. Like he wants to add like notes. It's fine.
That makes sense.
Tool
I see what he
bonuses are
means.
added. Statements, defense styles, role-based words used. Based on the words used in the statement in the context of the discussion as judged by the conductor, I guess. Okay. For example, an argument building off the previous statement of using some key piece of information known about the listener will have a larger tool bonus, whereas a poor choice of words such as insulting the listener will likely have a smaller tool bonus. Now, before we continue reading this, I would like you guys to think back of when you watched the Draw Steal session of Table Runner Crispy and D20, I think it was D20 Plays, when they stopped all roleplay to start up elf negotiation combat.
Read the very next paragraph right now.
If a player does not wish to roleplay the words used by their character, they can instead use their education or status bonuses as a tool bonus based on statements that I don't roleplay. Can I just have education bonus?
If a player does not wish to roleplay the words used by their character, they can go the fuck outside of my house, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're playing a role-playing game.
Also editing, roll-play.
The
If you're gonna keep it consistent.
The player should roleplay the actions of their character. If he is too socially inept to roleplay his character, he may express mercy upon the GM to be spared. That should be the phrasing.
Hey, if you want to roleplay, just press the button.
Yeah.
Press the education or status bonus. Press the education or status button so that you can get a bonus, and then you press the next button to use like delicate conversation. This is just, man, I don't know.
We are saying,
is this really solving the issue that you have?
Yeah.
Social.
So what
interaction?
And that's what we're saying. Your rule here doesn't solve the issue of having a player that doesn't roleplay at the table. It's like, okay, this is a contingency for playing with people that don't roleplay in a tabletop role-playing game, so that they have an out. But it teaches those players that, oh, this is totally normal behavior that this system encourages. So I don't have to improve, and I don't have to improve in role-playing and in expressing myself in social encounters. I can just keep being like a wood block, cardboard cutout character.
Yeah, I leveled up in my social class, therefore I improved in my role-playing, quote unquote.
I'm a level 3 role player.
Hell yeah. I pressed the education button.
He had something cool going on, but I don't like this very much.
Let's look at this table. What stands out, boys?
It scares me because look, guys. I joke that I'm dumb, but like I honestly mean like I'm not very bright. Like if anything, I'm average. I'm a midwit. Math is a weak point for me. I see this table and maybe if I read it carefully, I can understand. But okay, maybe this is valuable a view for the guy. There might be more people like me out there. This looks confusing, man. So if you want people, dumb people like me to play your game.
From what I understand, you either roleplay your character or you don't. Then after roleplaying your character or not, you determine if it's a delicate reason, charming, or right. So like if I'm the barbarian, like trying to hint that the guy should leave us alone, it'll be forceful. But if you're the rogue lying to someone, then it's delicate. Or if you're the wizard trying to be smart and explaining it, you're like a reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
But
I see what this is going with. And it is cool in concept. It's nice in concept.
This would be kind of cool for video game though, because it's so much harder to have those roleplay moments. How can I put all the player actions into buckets that I can program around the NPCs for?
I don't understand the complexity behind this though. Couldn't these just be 4 different skills? Like you have intimidate, you have persuade, you have deceive, and you have like charm. There we go. Like you have 4 skills now, and now it is mod. I bet that you have like the athletic skill. Why not just make this 4 skills? Like why would you do this? I don't understand.
It's definitely he wanted to create a social class, and I guess this is like, oh, there are no mechanics, and I'm assuming here, like I'm not a mind reader, but there are no mechanics for how to persuade people. It's literally persuasion or intimidation check. That's all there is to it. And adding more mechanics to solve a problem that is easily solved with roleplay at the table. Now, these
Is that a
mechanics
worthwhile
help.
thing, though?
I mean, it feels like these mechanics are expressly designed for low trust tables where the game master could just always come up with a reason to not give you the answer. So now there are dice involved that tell you if you succeeded or failed in asking somebody for directions to the local tavern.
I think that the vast majority of RPGs, you just say what you want to do, and the GM says, "Okay, you can do this." Skill check. Then you roll the skill check and describe how your character did it.
Yeah.
This is not a problem. This is a feature of how RPGs work, right? Like a good example is like, are you gonna add like a lock picking minigame like Oblivion as well? Like, oh, it's not enough that you're just rolling your lockpick skill. Now you can lockpick forcefully. You can lockpick like with finesse. You can lockpick like very slowly, right? You really need like the 4 different ways to lockpick. Just have like the lockpick skill, or in this case, just have like 4 different skills. The thing is, I think this is a cool idea. I think that like how you can use strength and int for forceful is pretty cool. Because now my barbarian can be intimidating without.
I can actually
And I think it's cool that the wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the wizard has intelligence. He can use like a reasons, right? But the thing is, yes, it is a cool idea.
Because
it was just
of
implemented
reasons.
badly. It is a good idea, but it was implemented badly because these can just be skills. Have these 4 things be skills, and then you don't need to have like a whole different table, and people don't need to get confused over nothing. And also, the other really bad thing is that the way you wrote this, it sounds like you need to have like an out of character conversation with the GM to figure out which one you want to use. And that's
Exactly.
just bad.
You roleplay, and
you-
then you have a small debate on which bucket it falls into. So you pull up like the Ouija board and look. What does it say? DELI. Oh, it's delicate. Yeah, this was a delicate one this time.
It's all it's doing is dragging you away. It's like
Yeah.
it's just you're further and further and further away from the world.
That's a big problem with having immersion in role playing games, which I think is the strongest feature in this hobby, and having rules that make you stop the role play and talk about what the mechanical consequences are bad game design. Anything else? Because I'm not
Let's
sure.
take a look at the social class, because you said
Yes.
that you think that this connects to the social class. Let's see what a social
Checking,
class is like.
spell text, grids. It's not too many pages. I'm just scrolling. Shopping, money. Oh, cool.
What are
coins.
that? Let me look.
No, social class, man. You said it. Wait, I can go up. Yeah.
No skill challenges.
Ah,
No,
Oh,
don't do it.
I'm
Don't do
looking.
skill challenges.
You can keep group or time-based tasks, like character levels and the different difficulties.
Look, man, this is looking like a scientific report or something when you scroll through this.
I mean, this is D&D tables, right? Like the higher levels they are, the bigger the class, the difficulty
More than
class.
Thacoats.
Yeah, we always like this stuff. Or like you need to achieve something, so we're gonna do a skill task or whatever.
Yeah.
That is awful. That sucks. You know why? Because again, that's gamifying what is just a cool in-universe scenario. Let's say that we need to go through like the haunted woods.
Let me
Like,
look at the names.
if you
he
make it
has.
a skill
How this
challenge,
works.
If you make a skill challenge, all you're going to be doing is when you can roleplay being in the haunted woods and see what happens, right? That sucks. Or whatever. Let's get to social classes.
A quick look at chat,
Aristocrat.
what they've been saying. Lots of different comments here.
They had a mutiny in the meantime, man.
The upcoming Broken Empires has you roleplay your intimidation, but the roll decides the success or failure. But you still roleplay, like a big roll for play. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, you gotta roleplay,
intimidate.
man.
You make the
Yeah.
roll. You find out like, and you can fail even if you're like real good at intimidating somebody. The other guy, he might just succeed and be like fuck this shit, like escalate, punch you in the face. No, you step down, dog.
I don't think that social skills are a bad thing necessarily. I think they're really useful for a GM that doesn't maybe know exactly how this character would respond. So that can be answered by that role. It's not, yeah.
We got the social classes here listed. He's like 12 classes, and obviously he plans to add more to this to give people like choice, so you can combine them. The aristocrat, the craftsman, the criminal, the entertainers, the free man. I would like make it like it's a craftsman, not a craftsman. Make it one guy because
But
you
it's
pick
more
one.
than one guy.
But when you build
But
your
you are
character,
part of the, you know?
when you build your character, I built a bulwark criminal. That sounds more natural for me.
It's,
I think it should be crafts MXN because you can have crafts women too.
exactly. Craftsfolk.
Let me remove Conway from the call real quick. Entertainer,
Hunters.
freeman, hunters.
So Hunter is a social one. That's interesting.
Yeah, actually, good point. That's a weird definition of what social class means. It's like, oh, also the hunters and the laborers are also social classes.
Yeah,
I'll
it comes back around to that.
Also,
It comes back around to that conversation earlier about old D&D, where my job is cleric. So now my job in the world is intellectual or hunter or
Like,
raider.
I'm role playing as intellectual barbarian. Actually, the intellectual obelisk, the orators, the merchants.
These are just backgrounds.
It's also
So,
service.
social class is like a weird name.
Your social
So, yes,
class
soldier
is
is
service
also
and
that's
soldier.
interesting. Wait. Go back to the combat ones because I want to see how they're described. Then
Yeah, the freaky
an
one. I think
arbalest.
Conway was going to say Astesian. It's got the proprietary class. It's an OC.
Ooh, okay. What the hell? That's pretty cool. These are not classes. These are just backgrounds.
This is a
Perfect.
They're the
tank,
backgrounds, but
A
a
they work
damage
like
dealer, and a stealthy damage dealer. That's what those are.
But wait. But I don't understand what are combat classes then.
You get the stuff for
From
combat.
what I
if you pick a
understand,
combat stuff.
like,
class.
Yeah, I'm
But
assuming here,
how-
right?
But these names, like, do they mean something in the world? Like, do I go around saying I'm an Astesian intellectual, or like?
If you read Arbalist, you're literally a skilled crossbowman with like mechanical understanding to like use to develop empowered bolts and augment their equipment.
So it's kind of like a skill. It's a
Yeah.
skill set. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a skill box.
Let's look at an example. As soon as we see an example,
I'm scrolling down until we get like. So we
he
got
said there's
characters.
one example of each.
Yes, he said so. Social. I want to see. Did he say anything? No, that's like just see the page. The entertainer social class. And tier 2, tier 4. We can look at this. Here's the list.
Got art. He got art.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Looks pretty cool too. I like the sketchy nature of it all. That's awesome. So we got the block text of like some cool stuff to get you into the mood of what it means to be an obelisk. And they're like, there's a different tribe, like they branch into chemical engineering, develop explosive technology. Okay. Final group like constructs collapsible structures to build defensives. This is like putting down walls and stuff.
It's your Fortnite class.
Yeah, it's a bit gamified, but fine. I'm fine.
Oh no.
I
Okay.
don't hate it yet. What do you hate? Tell me.
The names of the features, like tier 1 feature, like serrated shot embedding
Ooh,
Why are you reading that?
buttons that you click.
you get the proficient.
Tier 1 features.
Oh, okay.
In
range-
injector shot.
But as an obelisk, you can also use clubs. So you can use your crossbow to club somebody. That's how Dwarf Fortress works.
Can
by
I
the
do
way.
Can I do that without a feat though?
You gain proficiency, so whatever the fuck proficiency means.
Okay.
Must be like D&D.
I probably just do it better because I
Yeah.
have the feat. Okay.
Exactly.
I
If you
can
have no
accept that.
feet, you cannot walk anymore too.
I can also accept that.
The training, you gain +1 level of training in pure intelligence. What? Oh, you're just smarter because you pick the class. You pay XP and you get intelligence for being obelisk. You're more ableist now. You craft
So
custom
wait.
tips.
Is this a magicless system? Because I saw no class, either in social or combat with magic. This is a
The
magicless world.
the third one implied a bit of magic. The roguey one, like he had like special senses or something.
Estesian or
It's probably
Estesian?
why he has
Yeah.
not written out all the classes yet, because he didn't decide on what kind of magic to use in his system. Or like codifying it all. Because he probably wants the priest, the mage, the bard, the asshole, the druid, you know, like all the archetypes. The fool. Martial class. So,
The high priestess.
High priestess. She's wearing nothing but like this little piece of silk.
so in your downtime, you like modify your projectile, applies modifiers, prepare tips without causing effort. So effort is like something you have that you lose over time, I guess. Or maybe it's time.
Relatable.
I don't know. And you lose like worth of materials to craft. So you just carry around 20 pounds of material so I can do my shots. And when I'm out of material, I can no longer craft.
Start clubbing people.
Yeah. None
That's
of this
fine.
is like super interesting to me. What about you? Like, do you feel like the tier 4 point blank modifier is like super cool?
Turret construct?
We've not even like read what these things do. I think we should
Actual
take a
ability.
look. But my immediate like gut reaction is that these are names that you'd see in a video game. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
I have an idea of a curving shot, but why can't I do a curving shot if I'm not an arbalister, right? Like there are like good bowmen that do it, right? Do I need to be a guy that is good with a crossbow to do it?
In this very specific game, yes. You have like all of these options, and every range
but
class
you
is
can
limited to the
multi-class,
arbalist.
so you
as
can
of now.
probably get that. You can probably get that feat as a
Oh, let's see. Let's scroll down.
Estesian. There you go. It explains.
Pick one.
Built-in shield.
Oh, built-in shield is the only one that has unique on it. Maybe that's the only thing that is actually just for
There's
a
also
guy.
like unique
makes sense.
sturdy
Yeah.
shots, built-in shield. Yeah,
Grappling shot?
sturdy shot is also a unique feature. Modifier: the projectile launch is undamaged upon impact, can be recovered.
The grappling shot is like it's like a Black Widow, like you know, like you should like Batman.
Scorpion.
Yeah,
Oh, down here. Yeah, I see. Gotcha.
It reminds me of something like Pathfinder, where you have like rogue talents. Like every rogue is slightly different in Pathfinder because every rogue like a list of different rogue talents that they pick, and that's pretty cool. I think you can play Arbalester guys that are very different from one another. Now that I see this is pretty cool. This is actually straight up my alley. We're not for the video gamey names and the video gamey like application of these abilities as well, right? Because all of these things are for combat. None of this tells me what an Arbalester does outside of shooting a goblin.
Yeah.
Different types of
Well,
arrows.
it is a combat class,
Also-
so
In fact,
I'm
it
willing
says
to-
like you need to be a tier 2 arbalist before you can even think or be smart enough to modify a shot to like deal thermal damage on impact. That seems
Yeah.
for me one of those things where this can be a problem that you the verisimilitude of the world gets more and more damaged the more and more different abilities you attach to different
Okay.
tiers.
Let's propose a situation here. I'm an
Yeah.
Arbalist level 1, and I see an Arbalist level 3 shoot like something with fire, and I. So is it like? Am I like the Native Americans seeing ships and like their brain just not processing what they're seeing? Like, can my guy figure it out? Like, oh wait a second, I can add black powder and you know.
Like the small flavor text at the start literally did pitch it like you're like a group of people, you're more engineers that shoot crossbows, that like the mechanical aspects of it all. And the better you are, the more, you know, you get your PhD, you get your chemistry masters, degree, and you start doing all of these cool tricks with your bow.
I don't know, but I feel like
It's even
once
worse.
you see someone do something, you can start trying. You can maybe hurt yourself when training, but you can start trying to do the same. If you have
It's even
nice.
worse because the tier 4 thing is point blank. Like being good at shooting point blank is not a skill that only like
Exactly.
train that.
The thing you bring up, Nicholas, kind of comes back around to the whole idea of having to narrow your character back into the nature of the class-based system, where I've seen this, and the typical response in a class game like this is, yeah, your character is now inspired, but you're just not competent enough to do it.
You're
But at
actually-
level 4,
Oh man, so relatable. So relatable. Oh, yeah.
It's
at
too
level
real,
4,
man.
at level 4, you can now rationalize and roleplay that. Oh, I was inspired by so and so. I saw him. This is where I got the
Okay.
technique from. It's like that's great for the roleplay, but I couldn't have done that like a year ago.
I'm okay. Like we've seen what a combat class can do and what it looks like, at least for one of them. Let's look at the social class. Placeholder image. Just leave it empty at this point.
Get Zonalar to draw for you. Commission Zonalar. He won't make fun of you. I promise.
I will accept commissions. I will accept money. I'm a shill. Entertainers are anyone using particular artistic style as a profession. Okay, yeah, we all know entertainers. Let's see if anything's interesting. Usually charismatic or charming. Okay, can hold attention of large groups of people. Reasons for an entertainer going on adventure could be to inspire their art or to experience diverse cultures. It could also be for purely financial reasons where cultures don't pay artists well enough to sustain a living. Like, it just don't get me. I like make all of these super awesome dolls that look like robots, but they say I'm like crafting voodoo and they're throwing me out the village. How dare they?
They say it's too creepy because I make the feet too well.
Yeah, it's just like 90%
I don't want to
feet in every
psychoanalyze.
drawing.
I don't want to psychoanalyze, but that sounds off as the writer of the book talking to us, you know? They just don't
Yeah, yeah. It's like, here are the reasons why you might actually be an adventurer as an entertainer social thing.
Guys, I think the guy that wrote the verb might be an arbalester. I have a crossbow. He can do like grappling shots. No, he's not. He's not an arbalester. Entertainer. I know what you mean.
One day I will be a level 4
See, it was a misdirection joke.
Where is it?
I've been misdirected for sure.
I was, because you have both two classes, right? So I
Your
thought you were going
status
that way.
and education is both free, which helps you in social roles. You add your status or education. If you don't want to roleplay, you gain 1 level of, plus 1 level of training in instinct. I guess, sure, why not? I'm not thinking too hard about that. Roles associated with your art form are made with +1 ease. Wait, okay, hold on. I was confused. He talked about like ease and I think difficulty.
It's probably advantage. It's probably like you rolled,
But that's
2d20
wrong
or...
because it's not just ease; it's a +1 ease. So we have to.
Yeah,
keep
so you
track
get a
of
+1
modifiers.
and an advantage. You know?
If we're gonna keep throwing out
I
conjecture,
don't know. I don't think we know the mechanic.
Yeah. I was gonna, yeah.
Tier 1,
You can just read
level
too,
1
it's
training in LE skill. So you just pick the ones that you like. So we have to look at the skill list.
How is this different from a 5e background, though? For real.
Yeah.
It's a
Because you
5e
can
background,
mix
but
and
like
match.
every now and then when you level up, you gain like an.
That's not
A new power.
not really, because 5e is like either you have the skill or you don't. As you level up, like the skills you have skill points in, they become slightly better. And the ones you don't, you stay crap forever. This feels more like Pathfinder, where you just like pick more training skills and you can share them wherever you want.
Yeah, like I don't know if this is just because retainer is, but it literally telling you to get whatever skill you want.
And at the higher tiers, you become like 5 level 2 training skills. Tier 3, it's 3 level 3 training skills. So you specialize in less and less skills. And tier 4, it's one skill. So like, oh, I'm a good juggler, but man, I'm a master negotiator. I can really help them to like convince to give me a fuck ton of money for this.
Them shekels.
Yeah.
But it literally says any skill. So I can be an entertainer that is not good at anything an entertainer actually does.
It will be limited by the skills listed in his book, I assume. Like, you know, like Pathfinder or D&D, you got the 20 skills and you pick from those lists, right?
Well, even then, it's they're just gonna pick things like blacksmithing. You know what I mean? Like if it says any skill, then okay.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, there's a blacksmithing skill or whatever given skill. It's like that has nothing to do with being an entertainer, but I'm doing it. It's probably just a placeholder. Hopefully.
Yeah, that could become an issue down the line as he develops the game and people start abusing the shit out of it. Which, you know, that's still on the players. Like, he's called entertainer. Why did you pick lock picking? It's I break out of the bathroom all the time because they keep locking me in and take the key away. So
I got good at dodging due to all the rotten tomatoes they kept throwing at me.
It's his tier 4 expert skill. Let's look at the list of tier 2, tier 3, tier 4.
Subclasses feature. You get to choose.
Oh, you choose one of each. Ah, I see. So it's different to the combat one, where you have different options, but you can mix and match because some of them are unique, some of them are not. This one is, no, if you're an entertainer, then you pick one of those 3. Anyone stand out to you?
Inspiring song. Because I was thinking, like, conceptually, I really like what it does. It is like the downtime around the campfire, you know?
Yeah.
You're fiddling your lute and you're soothing everybody's fears, like, you know? It's a cool scene, but I know it's not getting role played, which is a shame. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna roll my inspiring song. Like, okay, you all get morale back. All right.
But is the
sunshine?
system...
They just skip.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No, just like it's such a cool moment to roleplay. That quiet time around the campfire.
Yeah.
The bard playing a song just to raise morale. But people don't. Well, I never seen it. I'm sure there is somewhere out there, but I've never seen it.
I might just be being pessimistic, but all I can see this doing is to say that your character did the thing. Without you role-playing it and you having that moment, like the analogy you gave before about the cool role-play moment, this is subverting that. This is just skipping to saying, I made the masterpiece. Like, okay.
There is one outlier, which is the tier 3 musician, Lyrical Brilliance. If you can use a pun, rhyme, alteration with any symbol technique in the phrasing, you can increase the tool bonus used by your limit.
Oh, I see.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, that's player skill, yeah.
It's player skill. The player will sit at the table and be like, I want to use my lyrical brilliance, but I'm just not that good with puns. Could you give me
I guess you can write something beforehand, you know?
It is sort of the idea that you should prepare as a player. If you're going to be playing an orc that goes out camping, you should know. You should know camping terminology. You should know.
I don't know if lyrical brilliance implies that though, because it's using the statement term. So you're using the statement mechanic and then saying that I used a pun in that move. Hopefully you're role playing that. Hopefully you're actually doing that. But it's using it's not capitalized, but it's still saying statement.
This is not going to be a problem until the player pushes up his glasses and says, well, actually, since I'm using a statement action, I can defer to this other role where I just use my education.
Right.
But now I'm adding a +1 because it is a pun. Now it's your turn, Game Master. You throw them off the table.
You say that, but we didn't dwell on it too long. But in the social combat, well, that's what I'm calling it now. Just to break the point, in the social rules, there was an opposition roll that your target would make. So,
yes,
like you said, you're a move GM, so we're. is what would happen.
Indeed. Okay, do we have any comments? Daryl, I don't have a public speaking skill, but I stand on a crate and start babbling. Yeah.
Net 20. Wow.
I do that every stream, Daryl. I'm very used. Other features. Precision movement. In combat, you can reroll. Wait, hold. What? What are those? They have to do with the entertainer too. So you pick the social class and you can reroll 1 dex dice used in an action because you have precision movement from the social class.
Yeah, because you know how to dance and do flips.
Oh, my bad. Like when he talks about combat class and social class, I thought all the skills
They
will
would
be limited.
divorced from each other. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's actually
I
making
think
them
they
influence
bleed.
each
They
other.
bleed into each other sometimes. Well, again, it does make sense that like a guy who is performing every single day has some form of flexibility, you know.
Okay. Well, there we go.
At least he has like stamina to run for a long time, you know, something like that.
Gonna switch
I
back.
understand what he's going with.
I think this is it, guys. I'm gonna pulling the video away, so it just shows our characters. I mean, we can see the video, but it's showing nothing. Thank you for watching over 3 hours of talking about somebody else's rulebook and his video about why his character creation works the way they do in the alpha version of the Verve tabletop role-playing game.
Jackie Chan had enough.
Indeed. And I should say, first off, I respect you quite a lot for putting your opinions out there. Not only do I respect you for doing so, but I think it's inspiring on how well you like made a video for it necessarily.
Oh, yes.
It's a very well edited video. You get your points across. We disagree with the points, but you know, that's another thing.
You are a very well-spoken young man. And I am not being facetious, I actually mean it. You express yourself very well on your video.
Absolutely.
And you have a cool idea, you have a cool thing going on. Even though it's not my style, I respect the grind.
So the way we've seen the one social class and his goals of having social class in the first place, does it aid, help, or hinder role playing at the table from now that we've
I want
watched
to
the whole
remove the
video?
statement mechanic.
What was that?
I would remove the statement mechanic. Like conceptually, it is quite neat what it's doing, but like you said, like on a video game, would be pretty cool. But I don't think it's okay. I could be wrong, Verve man, and maybe you can prove me wrong, and that'll be pretty cool. But I feel like this is the type of game where you end up playing 6 hours, and if you actually recount what actually happened in the game, you won't have 3 hours of stuff happening. You know what I mean? And I think it's because you have rules that require fiddling bits, like you know, like adjusting knobs on the fly to make it work. That is not very roleplay friendly. I'm very tired, by the way, so if I sound weird, it's because
we've run out of gas in the last 30 minutes.
Even though it's not my jam, compared to other games, I do think that there is an extremely admirable effort made. But again, it's just not in the direction that I would take.
I think
it's very cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add it. I think it's very cool that, especially because of the setting, I think it's cool that you are not only making all these classes, you're also heavily implying your own setting in that. And the last thing I can think that even had that was the Brandon Sanderson RPG that's coming out. And that's, how long he's been writing those books. You know what I mean? And you're, not only are you doing something, hard, let's just get it out of the way, doing something hard and trying to make a social mechanic, you're also flavoring all of it with your own in-world, stuff, which is impressive in its own right, even in isolation.
I agree. One of the big things I would look out for social mechanics, that if you rely on the players to use delicate and forceful and stuff like that, change the roles, that the players use it in their natural language. And if it's hard for them, that's fine, because I don't want to conflate player skill with character skill. So sometimes you can roleplay the scenes of, I treat the bartender with intimidation. I like straighten out my shoulders. I flex my muscle. Like my nose starts flaring up. You think up like some keywords or things that you remember. Like what do barbarians do when they want to intimidate somebody? I loom over them. That's not something you are like role playing in character, but you are still transcribing the idea that the game master can pick up on. And removing completely, like having to have a discussion above the table with the game master. Just say the player character describes it through speaking and describing it in character, what the character does, and picks the appropriate solution. Yeah, this was delicate. And in a way, I'm also codifying that you as a game master are not going to interrupt him and say, no, that wasn't forceful. That was more delicate than forceful. So you don't get your strength bonus. I want to remove that argument from the table because it's not helping either of you. You might be still correct, right? And you might cringe inside having to let him go with that like minor victory of one roll at the table of 5 hours of roleplay. But you can talk about that at the end of the table of like, man, the way you described it, it really didn't sound like forceful. It sounded like delicate. And you can have a small chat about it after the fact. And he can like take your feedback, think about it, and you can have the back and forth. But then it's after the game. And you don't lose the flow of the social aspects of playing role-playing games.
Yep.
All right. I assume Conway has nothing to say because he doesn't say anything.
He fell asleep.
He's floating.
About to do this now.
He's just vibing in the water.
All right.
Let him vibe.
With that, we're gonna. I think we can call it a success. If you liked the Verve, original link in the description. Feel free to
Go
say
check
hello.
the man out, man.
Yep. If you like watched all of this 3 hours shit talking everything is ever created, and you felt like, oh, that's kind of cool, yeah, play his game. It's like, try it out, make a video about you trying it out, talk about like what you liked, what you didn't like, compare it with other role-playing games, because that way you can really help a game developer like evolve his style, his game, to improve it as much as possible. And I think
Look, guys.
Yep.
It is fun to meme on like Pathfinder, D&D, like big corpo making bad games. But then you have actual human beings making games straight out of the dome and you
Yes.
don't support it. So protest with your feet, mouth, fingers. Download the game, check it out.
Indeed. Absolutely. And I didn't see a single AI picture in there. It didn't read like AI either. Like this was a human that typed it all up. And I want
points.
yeah. Thank you guys for watching and for tolerating us.
Is anyone still alive in the room? I feel like we've been talking to skeletons. Like,
Actually,
it's like
talking about
zombified.
skeletons. We can have the music back here of some 90s Japanese lo-fi hip-hop nostalgic chill vibes. Is the playlist called?
Oh, my favorite.
I love chill vibes. Oh yeah.
I am all about that. I'm all about that too, baby.
All right. Do you guys have anything coming up that you want to like chill for? Otherwise, do you have a channel? Do you do videos? Any plans?
We about to have some real wither hours next weekend. Be ready to see the real Shadow Wizard money game too. We love casting spells.
We love casting spells. That is right.
Yeah,
You're fucking insane.
What?
People wrote your own role-playing game about being shadow wizards.
that meme from like 5 years ago.
Not even. Like, whenever I hear about Shadow Wizard Money Game 2, I just keep thinking about fucking Bob World Builder talking about skate wizards, and I'm like, that ain't shit. You got fucking Shadow Wizard Money Game, baby.
Absolutely.
It is a goof. But yeah, we're gonna try something new. But yeah,
It's gonna be on
people
your
around,
channel.
You ain't a real 1%
It's probably gonna be my
OG,
channel.
Lisa, you know?
Yeah.
It's
That's what
not
I'm
gonna
talking.
be just.
Nice.
Well, I'm
It's gonna be
adding.
on my channel.
Yeah. It will be in the description, all the names of the participants and the YouTube channels, so you can watch it when it's happening. Bleaknik, do you do YouTube videos or not really? It's like private.
No, not yet. Just lurking for now.
Nice. You did play in like a what's it called? Ultimate No Prep Challenge.
UNPSA. Yeah,
Right.
and I learned very quickly that I shouldn't play on weekdays because I was fried.
Cooked. I was cooked, man. Indeed. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Like playing when you're cooked. You're already doing all this prep, and then you show up to play for 4 hours, and you just say like, "Game Master, can I just roll the dice, please? I beg you. I don't want to pick your character."
It is funny. I don't think I told you, Bleaknik, but that day, I was very tired the whole day, and I was not really wanting to I was not feeling physically fit to play. But then Uriah came like, "Man, we have Chuli of the green guy, like the
Yep.
come on, play a game."
They need a leader.
Okay. You know, like, honey, it's time for your testicular or whatever, torture. Like, yes, honey. And then I went in and I was like, okay, because I still enjoyed it, right? So I thought, I'll go because I'll probably be at players, which is much less taxing. And then I get the GM, I'm like, okay, we're in, boys. We're in. And that's why I was forgetting words all the time because I was very tired. But it was good. I still loved it. I had a blast. You guys were awesome.
Yeah.
I really wish. I want to have more opportunities to play with both of you.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah, all of you were very kind. All of you were very graceful. The thing that I noticed for myself, at least, and this might just be a UNPC thing, especially, is just that I did not feel confident in my character, because I made him right there. So I just did not feel like from beginning to end I was consistent with what I said he was.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is part of the NPC. I'd say. Sometimes the genre just you really have this lighting in a bottle, but whenever I'm a player, I just feel I don't know. I'm very paper thin. I'm not. My
I
character
feel
doesn't
like
have much
paper.
better.
To get into the skin is a whole
No,
ordeal.
but
You gotta take off your skin
the
first.
NPCs we played are awesome. Yeah.
Well, I loved all of them.
Because we played the diesel trenches. Then later on we played with Nicholas. I played the one where
You're cutting out.
guys who prove ourselves to the
Nothing
tribe.
comes through, by the way.
Oh, okay.
No, we can hear. Don't be like that. But sometimes keywords get lost.
Yeah, it started getting swallowed up. But
Gotta
yeah,
fix that.
the
It's probably
diesel
noise
punk game
reduction,
was
background.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. The anime game was pretty cool. I still had a blast with that one. The cranial cavity.
Right, I
that
was
was
about to
fun.
ask which one because Uriah had
I
to
mean,
play them
all of
twice.
the NPCs I've been in, I love them all.
They've been great.
Even with mistakes and on my part, I still loved it.
Yeah, you can actually check our channels. We post our role-playing sessions online for people to learn how we role-play. We call it 4D roleplay to have an immersive role-playing experience where the roles take the background and the players' characters take the foreground of describing where you are and what you do, speaking in character, and allowing players some freedoms to add elements into the scene that were not explicitly described. If you walk along the beach, that the player described, oh yeah, there's a beach and the sun is setting over the ocean as the emerald light slowly swallows up the orange ball, and I crouch down, pick up a driftwood. Now there's a driftwood there. The game master didn't have to say, a driftwood. I didn't describe driftwood, like looking through his notes, like the 20 elements he put down at the beach. What you could find there. It's just like, oh, okay, that's a thing now. There we go. And we talk about that shit all the fucking time.
Can I just say, I want to extend an invitation to the guy that wrote Verge to come play with us. See if you enjoy putting role-playing in front of mechanics. No strings attached, no?
Yeah, we can even try out your system and see how the social encounters play out if we don't talk about the roles at the table.
Yes.
That would be a cool experiment.
And I promise
actually.
I won't be a fat mage there. I'll play into your world, okay?
There are no mages available yet.
We all be
There are no
entertainer.
fat people
of those.
available.
We're playing 4 Arbalest entertainers.
Cool. Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I got a bunch of ideas for role-playing games. Now's a good moment. I wanted to run the Dark Eye game for the people that want to find out, like, what the fuck are the Germans cooking on the other side of the world in a language nobody speaks? Because
Well, I have to ask.
yeah.
So this is a bit like a tangent. Do you have like the classic Oktoberfest costume thing, like the cultural? Do you have like the cap with the feather and all?
If I have it, or if Germans
Suspenders.
have
No, if you own.
it. No, I do not.
Man, if you showed up to like the Dark Eye, I would put myself through Dark Eye just to see the whole section.
You motherfucker.
At least do the braids.
If you don't dress up as a wizard, what are you doing? I can put on my robe that like stretches because I've gained too much weight. It stretches at the seams. I got a good brown robe and some rope to go with it. To go around the belly, not around anywhere else. YouTube, you didn't hear anything, YouTube. Don't worry. Yeah, but I want to showcase the Dark Eye because I feel like there's a bunch of mechanical solutions built into that system that nobody knows because they don't fucking want to learn German to learn the rules. But it's just as complex as a system like Pathfinder or Shadowrun that solves problems in a different way. And I think that's interesting from a game design perspective. And also, it would be cool to have role players at the table that aren't into the mechanics porn, but actually try to role play out the scenes that get supported by the mechanics, and see if that even works out. You know, like how good that works out. And I can only think of you guys in the Discord, in the 4D Roleplay Discord and RPG Crusade to achieve that. And maybe the Germans, they probably can do it too, but they get like, some of them get a bit too intense with keeping all the lore correct. And if you don't, then some of them can become, well, actually pushing up the glasses and explaining to you.
You understand why people think Germans are angry.
The paladins are not the members that would do this. The paladins would never break the law.
Rondra paladins would not do that. You know that. You ignorant American. Flashbacks to German competition in high school. Like, I will win. I will gewinnen.
I will crush you.
Between meine Beine, you will be crushed. The other one is actually running Shadowrun. Fucking another high mechanical game that allows for a fuck ton of freedom, but has so much crunch built into the rules, and see how that plays out. am I just trying to torture people? Like for me, this is really like an experiment.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it because it has not been done in this community, so you can be the
Yeah.
first.
And
Like 5e.
with both games, I mean, by the time you're done with either session or sessions, you're going to take a syringe to both games and be like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. We're going to narrow down what's sexy, what can be roleplayed, and then go with that. Like,
Yeah.
Shadowrun setting at the very least, you know?
And I loved it the way we did it with D&D, 7 sessions. But like for those settings, I'm okay with like doing it in 3 sessions. Just enough that we can talk about it and update how we should play it. And keep tinkering on it until we have this fluent experience. And at the very least, people can make their own judgment of, okay, this is way too hard, let me try a completely different game. Let me just use ECT6 to play like the group of super soldiers that can use a lift to crash through the ceiling by like hacking about on it, instead of using Shadowrun, where you stuck 30 minutes rolling the hacking minigame. We already have like heavily modified ways of playing Shadowrun in our German circles, because we've all seen those pitfalls and been there already, and then updated the approach on how to play the game to make it work. So it's like, I guess it's very much... Go ahead, sorry.
I'm game. Like, we did the Pathfinder game, we did the 5e game even before, and that one was really cool as well. It was great to see how like you need to slowly adapt the system to get it to work right. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm down for Shadowrun. I don't feel as confident, but I mean, it'll be an experiment for me as well to see if I can grab a brand new system that a lot of people would call crunchy.
Yeah. For the
but
dark
I do
guy,
need to go though, because I need to go get 7 to 8. It was a great stream. Great talking to y'all.
all right. Yeah, we will end it here, guys.
Nice.
Thank you for showing up. Check out the other guys in the description. I will add the links in a couple minutes after the show. Thank you all for showing up. Goodbye.